Carbon Dino football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM. Carbon Dino football, powered by Castle Country Radio on KRPX 95.3 The Peak and online at castlecountryradio.com. And now for tonight's play-by-play, let's join Sonny Buscarini and Aidan Mortensen.
Good afternoon and welcome to Carbon Dino football here on 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play. Tonight, the Carbon Dinos at home. They are 2-1 on the season, and they will battle the Canyon View Falcons, 2-1 on the season as well. Region play begins tonight. Should be a good game here at Carbon High School. Joining me in the Sutherland's broadcast booth, Aidan Mortensen. Aidan, pleasure to have you here once again for the Carbon Dino football game number 4.
You know, Sonny, always a pleasure to be up here with you in the Sutherland's broadcast booth, because when the Dinos take the field, you never quite know what's going to happen, and especially under Coach Milovich. We saw him last week break out a few trick plays that really stunned the crowd. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to run a hook and ladder once, but to run it twice and find success both times, that takes a lot of guts, and that's what I think that's the best way to describe this Dinos team, is they have a lot of guts. They go out there, and they leave it all on the field, and I think as a coach, that's what you really love to see.
Listening to the Landon's Diesel Service pregame show. You can also watch us on Castle Country Radio Carbon, YouTube, KSL Sports app, castlecountryradio.com. You can stream the game. And our friends at KSUB down in Cedar City, FM 107.3 and AM 590 are listening to us down there. And it's a pleasure to have all you listening to the game tonight. We'll do our best to bring you Carbon and Canyon View.
Yeah, it's a statewide affair tonight, Sonny, and I can't think of a better way to describe the region the Dinos sit in, as well as Canyon View, because this encompasses the middle down to the southern part of the state. You got the two Cedar teams in Cedar High and Canyon View, and you got everything in between. You got Richfield, you got Carbon. It's a really all-encompassing region that creates a lot of havoc, because the thing about these teams is, Sonny, all of them are very talented. There's not a team in here who you look and think, oh, yep, that's going to be an easy week. Every team in this region is going to fight to the bitter end, and that's what you got to love about high school football. These kids are playing for the passion of the game.
Well, we seem to say that in every sport in this region. This is just a good sports region. There's no doubt about it. But tonight, you know, the RPI rankings do mean something, but there's something special about region play, and it begins tonight. And let's talk about Canyon View. They come to town 2-1. Off their 35-21 victory over Moapa Valley, Nevada. They also had a 35-3 win over Jordan. They suffered a 27-13 loss to Dixie, and that's their 3 games they have played so far. 2-1 on the season. This is a good football team that can do a lot of things.
And that's been the thing since Canyon View has moved down to the 3A classification. They've been one of those consistently good teams. They're a very well-coached team. Head coach Burke Miller been there for the last 4 years. He is a stellar head coach. Led him to the semifinals a few times. He's also had several players go on to play at the collegiate level, and that's something that, as a coach, you rarely get to see in rural Utah areas, is these kids going on to play on the next level. He's managed to do it several times over. And you look at the offense that they're bringing to the field this time. They're running the spread option, and that's thanks to having a stellar quarterback in Ryder Miller. You talk about dual threats all the time, Sonny.
Yep.
I feel like it's a word we've kind of devalued, but when you look at Ryder Miller, that is a true dual threat quarterback. 396 pass yards, 276 rush yards, 9 total touchdowns. That is a superstar in the making down there for Canyon View.
Yeah, 3 passing touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns. He can do it all at quarterback. That's a huge part of the football world now, is your quarterback play, and he has had a great season, has Miller. Now they can also run the ball, and they're talented in lots of areas on the offensive side.
Now you look at junior running back Jace Floyd, 182 rushing yards on the season, going along with 165 receiving yards. He's kind of that number 2 option to what Miller is throwing out there on the field for the Falcons. But you have to give a lot of credit to the offensive line, Sonny. An option offense is nothing without his offensive line play. And you got to single out Colt Rushton, 9 pancake blocks on the season. But that's what's scary about Rushton, what's scary about him is that on the defensive side of the ball, he is a menace. Look at these stats, Sonny. 4 sacks, 4 caused fumbles, 11 quarterback hurries, 21 tackles, and 11 of those going for a loss. You talk about game breakers on the defensive side of things. You look at NFL comparisons, because that's something that most people are going to grasp. Your J.J. Watts, your T.J. Watts, your Aaron Donalds, those are players who can really go in and they can impact the game. You have to game plan around them. Rushton is one of those players.
Yeah, let's take a look. Safeties, Ben Vest, Brock Neighbors, 2 interceptions, 5 deflections, 32 tackles. They have a good secondary as well.
That they do, Sonny. It's going to be hard to get something going deep in the air. You got to stick to that short and sweet passing. Well, on that topic, Sonny, let's take a look at the Dinos offense led out there by junior quarterback Caden Dunn. 5 passing touchdowns on the season with 312 passing yards, a 52% completion rate. So anytime you can get above 50% of your passes finding your own receiver, I think that's a pretty good statistic you look to. And what's going to be key for Carbon tonight is not forcing anything deep like we talked about. You have that stellar secondary from Canyon View. You need to be smart in where you're placing that ball. You want to stick to your short and sweet. 3 yards at a time, you'll be able to march down the field, limit their offensive opportunities. What is going to lead them to this promised land, of course, is going to be tight end senior Maddox Wilson. I can't think of a better target to find yourself having outside of Wilson. I mean, the kid is over 6 feet tall. He is just strong as a bull. He's someone who you really have to put 2 or 3 men on if you want to have a chance to bring him down. So I think a lot of the defensive pressure is going to be focused on Wilson today.
Yeah, Wilson with 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. We'll say his name a lot tonight on the offensive side and the defensive side as well. As you said, Caden Dunn stepping in at the to start at quarterback for the Carbon Dinos. First 3 games, he's really done well stepping in there, and he's played well.
Yeah, he has. As someone who didn't expect to be taking those starting snaps heading into the season, an injury in the blue and white game led him to stepping up and taking that starting role over for the Dinos. And like you said, Sonny, he has found times where he has really excelled in the role. Of course, there's going to be some growing pains, as there is for any junior quarterback. And I think that's something you can look at throughout this Dinos team, is this is a very young group. You look at a lot of these players, you see a lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores taking snaps. One of the ones that really complements Wilson very well on the defensive side of things, the defensive end, Andy Kiefer. 11 tackles this season, 6 for a loss to go along with a team-leading 4 sacks. So the defensive line play, with the exception of Wilson, that's a very young group you're seeing. And that's, as a coach, you got to be pretty thrilled about that, having so many players who are going to be returning.
Yeah, their tackling this year has been really solid for the Carbon Dinos.
That it has. You see one player make initial contact, and then you see 2 or 3 other Dinos getting in on the fun almost right away, halting any forward progress. It's been the moments where they've gone away from that mentality, Sonny, that they have struggled. And we saw that against Ogden trying to stop the run. But if they can have a repeat performance and break out some of those defensive stoppers, I think we're going to have a pretty neck-and-neck game tonight.
Let's go back to the offense for a second and talk about junior running back number 2, Dexter Packard. He's 239 yards rushing, averaging 79 yards per game. He has 2 touchdowns. It's important tonight that the Dinos get him going early.
Yeah, and it's going to go up to those big boys up front, Sonny. We're talking about Andy Kiefer, Ben Stewart, Will Hinckley, J.J. Rudin, and Cole Hinckley. They need to be able to open up a gap for Packard to try and break through, because if he's a running back who, if you can give him just the slightest bit of space, he's going to be able to make something happen. It's those moments where he doesn't have anywhere to go and gets swallowed up. That's when the trouble starts for the Dinos offensively. We've liked that bounce attack we've seen from the Dinos throughout the season. Coach Milovich has done a good job not relying too heavily on the pass or the run. All in all, it's been a very balanced approach for Carbon. I think that plays very much to their benefit.
Last year, these 2 teams played up at Canyon View in Cedar City, and Canyon View came away with a 56-14 win. You remember that game. It was cut short due to lightning. I think at the end of the 3rd quarter, they called the game, and Canyon View dominated last year with a 56-14 win. See if we can change that tonight.
That they did, Sonny. Also for the Dinos, they're looking for their first region win since 2018. That was the last season where Carbon defeated Emory right here at Dino Field. They followed that up with a victory over Judge Memorial. Looking at the odds in this contest, Sonny, Carbon enters as a 33-point underdog, according to the Deseret News. And earlier in the pregame show, you mentioned RPI rankings. Those aren't coming out just quite yet. We got a few more weeks to wait. Those will come out on Monday, September 15th at noon, and that's when all these teams are going to get a chance to see where they stand in that playoff race.
Carbon and Canyon View tonight here at Carbon High School. The weather looks like it's going to clear up. It was a little cloudy when we got here, but As we sit here, it gets a little bit better. It's 70 degrees outside right now. We don't have hardly any wind. It's going to be a good night for high school football.
That it is, Sonny. I can't think of a more picturesque setting. It's always going to be good, and I think a great day for a statewide broadcast. Again, right here on 95.3 The Peak on YouTube, Castle Country Sports, Carbon, the KSL Sports app, CastleCountryRadio.com, the Castle Country Radio app, as well as our friends down in Cedar City at KSUB 107.3 FM and 590 AM. So many ways to watch the Downs today. You really don't have an excuse to miss out on this contest.
Nope. We welcome our friends down in Cedar City to the broadcast tonight. Sit back and enjoy. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have an interview that Jordan did with the head coach of the Carbon Dinos, Nick Milovich. He played this on Drive Time Sports, and we will play it for you in its entirety. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about tonight's game. We'll have the flip of the coin. Aiden will go down, talk to both coaches, and it'll be time for kickoff here at Carbon High School. It's Carbon Dino football. It's the Dinos against the Falcons of Canyon View, the Landon's Diesel Service pregame show right here.
At Landon's Diesel, they understand the heartbeat of your diesel truck. Whether it's the rig that powers your livelihood or the everyday vehicle that drives your life, the trained technicians at Landon's Diesel are here to keep you rolling. Plus, with 24-hour towing service, support's just a call away, anytime, day or night. Drive into Landon's Diesel for expert care tailored to you and your truck, because when your diesel needs expertise, Landon's Diesel is always here.
At A Perfect Smile, they specialize in transforming your smile with precision and care. From porcelain veneers and dental implants to orthodontics, crowns, and bridges, their expertise covers every aspect of general and cosmetic dentistry. Dr. Jackson and his team are here to address even the most challenging dental concerns, helping you achieve a smile you'll love. Ready for a smile makeover? Call A Perfect Smile today, 637-2100, to schedule an appointment.
Looking for the perfect mattress? We've got you covered. At Bill's Home Furnishings, we have the largest selection of mattresses in eastern Utah, including the highly rated Serta Perfect Sleeper. And when it comes to price, we're competitive with anywhere in the state. But we're more than just mattresses. From quality furniture and home accessories to reliable appliances, we've got everything you need to make your house a home. Stop by Bill's Home Furnishings today, where selection, savings, and service meet. Right here in eastern Utah.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on The Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Joining us over the phone, we have Carbon football coach Nick Milovich. And Coach, it's always a pleasure to get you on, and I appreciate you making time again today. Thank you.
Always. Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely, Coach. I know that in preparation for this week's game, the weather has cooperated a little bit. I mean, it was tough sledding for you guys to get out and try to go through anything last week with the massive amount of rain. How welcoming has this weather been from a coaching staff perspective?
So much. I never thought I'd be like, yeah, it's 90-plus degrees, but it helps our kids get focused, and there's no more distractions and things like that. So it's been huge. Everything's been cooperating, and I can't wait for Friday.
I know it comes so quick, right? And you've been around the game so long, you had to know this, but I have to believe that the urgency from a head coach perspective is completely different than a coordinator or an assistant perspective, right? So as you get going throughout the week, it's not really days, it's hours. That's all you get in prep for a game on Friday.
I know it's just so crazy, and just the lack of time and things like that. I wish we could have them all day, honestly, but I think that's just we've got to have a plan in place and hyper-specific in what our mission is and the goals that we have. And I've got a wonderful staff that keeps us goal-oriented and follows schedules, and it's wonderful to just show up to practice knowing we have a plan and we utilize that time, and it is really stressful, like you said, but I'm grateful for the time to be able to hammer it out with these kids.
Let's go back to a week ago, Coach. You guys enter a game against Ogden. You're 2-0. Things are going well. We knew that was going to be a tough matchup. We knew they were big and physical, maybe one of the most physical teams you'll see all season. I know it wasn't necessarily the outcome that you guys had wanted, but I think the bigger question, rather than just assessing the way the game went down, is what type of learning experience was that for your young team and these kids going out and seeing football at another level compared to what we saw week 1 and week 2?
Absolutely. I think it set a whole new expectation of what to prepare for from here on out. We've got big kids on our roster, but hey, guess what? So does everyone else. And hey, guess what? They're going to be able to chase you down. They're watching film just as you guys are, and things like that. So Though, yes, it didn't go our way and things like that. We've got to look at the positives and things like that. And we really did get a lot better in knowing what to expect, knowing the physicality that we have to come out with every single week from here on out, because other teams are gunning for us. It was good for Caden to see blitzes and to be a little bit flustered and being a little bit more hyper-focused on reads. It was good for our receivers to get pressed a little bit and need to be a little bit physical. The lines, both offensively and defensively, and then the secondary of how important it is to stay on assignments and things like that. So in a weird roundabout way, I thought it was a really good learning experience for our kids.
I think that this is something that really only applies to football, Coach, because you play once a week, right? There's 10 days out of the year, not counting the playoffs, that you get to go out and play football, that it seems like we live and die with every single game, and we can forget the long-term goal of playing your best football at the end of the season. I know that sounds so elementary, right? But I think in the game of football, we overlook the fact that you can accept a loss at the beginning of the season as long as you're working to get better for when it really does matter, and that's playing your best football at the end of the season.
100%. It's so interesting that, again, just the little things are really what turn the tide for everything. And it was good that we have technology to be able to focus on those things. Like I said, I was proud the fact that we kept fighting and things like that, but it was a culmination of little things that was ultimately our demise for that Ogden game. And so it was good to be able to hyper focus on that. And like you said, keep that perspective in mind. I mean, we still have 7 more games left and then state. So we've got to buckle in and keep going for the long haul.
Before we move off the Ogden game, Coach, let's talk about that one touchdown, because you guys you had a special team score. And I know in the high school game, really all levels of football, we were talking about this earlier in the week. What can a special teams touchdown do for the momentum or the swing of a game? And I know at that particular time, you guys were already down 4 scores, so maybe it is a little bit different. But the fact that you guys found that success on a kick return, in certain games, that can completely flip a contest upside down.
Oh, 100%. And there was, again, kudos to McCade and the preparations that he makes. Coach Bradley does an awesome job with our special teams, and then Jordan Nichols having that desire to go and things like that and get into the end zone was so huge. And I think as funny as it sounds, it just took a huge weight off of everyone's shoulders. It seems like it's just like, you know what, we might be able to do this. So, like I said, that was going to be the focus of coming into this year is we've got to be on point with all 3 phases of the game and things like that. And that has ultimately, I mean, it helped out with ALA immensely. Grand, we were able to focus on that, and then we were able to finally put it together with Ogden. So I was super thrilled that they were able, because of how much hard work they do in practice, that they were able to finally get in that end zone.
Again, our guest right now is Carbon High School football coach Nick Milovich. Coach, let's jump ahead. Let's talk about the game on Friday. Canyon View comes into town, and this is a team that has played some really good football up to this point in time. They're sitting at 2-1 with wins over Canyon View and then Mopa Valley. They also went toe-to-toe with Dixie, which is no easy task. Canyon View kind of has that reputation of being a big physical team. We've seen some really good Canyon View teams. They're pretty consistent as far as this program is concerned, and I think if you take a look at this team right here, they may be bigger in size than they have been in years past.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we picked up on, and we've again we're thankful that we were able to see a bigger team and more physical team in Ogden, because Canyon View is just that, and so we've got to be able to sustain blocks. That's going to be the keys of this game. I know Moapa Valley, or however you said it, out in Nevada, was able to expose that, and generally in years past they've been a tough team, and so we're going to kind of go off of that blueprint and hopefully find some success with that and taking advantages of some of the strengths of our kids. But we've got to be prepared for another dogfight, or it's going to be another long game.
When we look at what you guys have to do defensively, Coach, I think that this is a tough assignment based off of the fact that Ryder Miller, their quarterback, is kind of a dual threat. I mean, he can beat you with his arm, he can beat you with his legs. In fact, I believe going into this game, he's also the leading rusher on the team. And so you have a dual threat quarterback. I know that's got to be a nightmare to prepare for. What are some of the steps that you guys have to take to make sure that you limit him at least in one of those two aspects?
Oh, absolutely. We've got to keep focused on assignment and staying in lanes. We cannot over pursue this kid at all, and then we just need to put a body on him at all times. May it be a spy or just keeping an eye out on him, because, like you said, he's kind of scary when he tucks it and runs. So we're at least we're preparing for that aspect and things like that of the running threat of that, and hopefully we can just have him just throw the ball. But if we can keep him in the pocket, I think that's going to be our best bet, hopefully putting a stranglehold on the scoring and things like that.
I know they have another threat out of the backfield with Jace Floyd, and this is a kid again. I mean, they use him in multiple ways. I think he's even thrown a couple of passes this year, but leads the team in receiving. He's second in rushing. Do they use him really in the flats? I mean, is that where most of these big receptions are coming out of the backfield?
I would suspect that if I was a betting man and just seeing like that, I bet they go deep a little bit early, and then they try to whittle things down a little bit. But he's another one that we've got to be able to keep an eye out on. I thought we did a somewhat decent job with the run with Ogden, and it's just going to be the deep passes and things like that I'm at least planning on from Canyon View, but I wouldn't put it under them, Jordan. I really wouldn't. And so they've got two dynamics, and that running back is something else. So we'll keep an eye out on him.
As you prepare for your offensive game plan, Coach, how similar is Canyon View to Ogden, a team that we just saw a week ago, and what are some of the things that you have to try to exploit?
So they're running a 4-4. At least they did last time. I would expect heavy blitzes. I don't think anything's is going to change. And we're going in with that mindset. Short, simple, maybe keying on other offensive players first before we go to our threat with Maddox and things like that. But like I said, we've got to be able to establish a run game of some sort. And being able to handle that big line, because I believe if we can get past that line and get into second level, I think we can do some awesome things, and then that pass game will open up completely. But I'm fully expecting a 4-4, a 4-3 front from them. Single high safety, so we've got to be on our games. It did look like they blitzed a little bit last week, so we've just got to be able to call out our keys and then hopefully make them pay for blitzing.
Let's end with this, Coach. I do want to go back and talk about the mindset of the team following that loss. I know you and I talked a bit off of the cuff, and you were happy with the way practice went this week. So the morale around the team, it doesn't seem to really be altered coming off of that loss. It seems like the kids are in a good spot.
It really was, and you're really not sure what to expect and things like that after a tough loss like that. And we wanted to practice them on Labor Day at the end of the day and things like that. And it seemed to me like everyone could have used the excuse of, oh, it's a holiday and we're just not going to be there and things like that. But I tell you what, we were at full attendance. I mean, we were only missing a few kids, and that's from senior down to freshman. And so I think that these kids are committed. They're willing to get better. They're wanting to get better. And they love and support one another. And it's just, it was really, really cool because I honestly didn't know what to expect Monday on that Labor Day. And to see everyone fully dressed and ready to go and practicing really good. I don't know. It kind of gave me goosebumps as that, and just so thankful for this group of kids and the coaches. So it was a good week of practice.
Coach, it's always a pleasure to get you on. I do appreciate the time. Best of luck against Canyon View, and I can't wait to talk again real soon. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. Go Dinos.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino football. The coin toss going to be done here in a few seconds, but right now let's go down to the sidelines. Aiden is with the fourth season head coach of the Canyon View Falcons, Burke Miller.
Thank you, Sonny. I'm down here on the field with Canyon View head coach Burke Miller. Coach Miller, always a long bus ride between Cedar City and Carbon, both ways. I know it's always one of those rides that you're either dreading or you're looking forward to it if you're a kid to get out of school earlier. What are you kind of looking at to get the guys motivated after that long bus ride?
Yeah, you kind of got to think strategically before you even leave. You know, where are you going to stop? How often are you going to stop? And how long are you going to get out? And how early do you want to get here and get on the field so get the legs stretched? So it is kind of tough. Even our shorter bus rides, we've noticed that it's a little tough getting them motivated. So getting them motivated here is just basically just getting their bodies moving. That's all we really want to do after that long bus ride.
Now, looking at the Dinos today, let's start on the defensive side of things. What are you keying on the Dinos offense defensively to try and set yourself up for success this game?
Pass rush. We so far this season have lived off our pass rush. We feel like we've got a good pass rush. We're going to force them to have to throw the ball quick. And that's the game plan. Throw the ball quick, we get to the ball carriers quick, and we should be in good shape.
Looking at the offensive side of things, what do you think those keys to the game are for you guys?
For us, it's run game. So far this season, we've been a great run team, and we don't think any differently tonight. We've got to come out and establish the run, pick up on, some things we saw on film with them that we can take an advantage of, and just execution all around.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. You guys have been road warriors as of late to start this season. How nice do you think it's going to be after this game, being able to return home for a few weeks, try and get those legs back underneath you?
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We were talking about that last night. We're like, after this game, we're home for 3 of the next 4. One of them is at SUU, not at our home stadium, but it's still considered a home game for us against Cedar. But it'll be nice to just get down there. We've got a Emory return trip here in a couple weeks, but that's the only one we got to worry about. Other than that, it'll be nice to get home for a little bit.
And then looking at the offensive side of things, what players should we be on the lookout tonight to have a major impact on the game?
I would look at number 5, Jace Floyd, 6, Camden Sheridan, our quarterback, number 4, Ryder Miller. Those guys have been running the ball really well all season. I don't think anything will change tonight. I hope not. So and if not, we've got some receivers who are ready to make a play. So.
And looking, same question defensively, who should we be on the lookout for tonight?
Yeah, we really like I said, we really like our pass rush. So our front 4 is really good. Our edge guys, Colt Rushton, 75, and Cooper Urey, 21, are 2 of the best, I think, in all of 3A, if not 4A, at rushing the passer. So we expect them guys to come out and have another big night tonight.
Now, looking at the game as a whole, what do you think the major key is for you guys to come away with a victory here tonight?
Execution. We tell our team every week we believe we're one of the best teams as long as we execute. If the execution falls apart, it can be a long game. We felt like we had that against Dixie where the execution fell apart. But the other 2 games we executed really well, and we walked away with the victory in both of those. So same thing tonight. Just execute your plays, execute your assignments.
And before I let you get back to the team, anything you want to leave our listeners with?
No, it should be a fun game tonight. We're excited to be up here in Price. The weather looks great. Maybe even rain on us a little bit, so we're excited about that. Give us a little different atmosphere.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Always a pleasure. Back to you in the booth, Sonny.
At Landon's Diesel, they understand the heartbeat of your diesel truck. Whether it's the rig that powers your livelihood or the everyday vehicle that drives your life, the trained technicians at Landon's Diesel are here to keep you rolling. Plus, with 24-hour towing service, support's just a call away, anytime, day or night. Drive into Landon's Diesel for expert care tailored to you and your truck, because when your diesel needs expertise, Landon's Diesel is always here.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back. Nice interview, Aiden, with the head coach of Canyon View, Coach Miller, and we're ready for the start of today's game. Kicking off will be Eli Chili for the Carbon Dinos, and back to receive the kick is Caden Greenland.
And, Chili has that leg that you love to see on a kicker, and that's the leg of a soccer player, an incredible player out on the pitch, and now he's pitching in for the Dinos.
Jason Duff also back to receive the kick for Canyon View, and we're ready to go. Canyon View goes right to left on your radio dial. They'll get the ball first. The Dinos won the toss, deferred. They will get the ball to start the second half, and we are underway. We have a whistle immediately, and a yellow flag comes out.
And that's never a good sign to see one on the opening kickoff, Sonny. Usually that's an omen of how things may be going for either one of these teams to start. We'll see what the official has to call on this one. My guess, Sonny, would be procedure.
It has to be. It has to be on either that or they just stop play for the clock maybe or something. Let's see. That must be what they did. So they're going to tee it back off again at the 40-yard line. Let's get going again.
Yeah, a bit of a false flag there. It's a shame, too, because that was a nice kick by Chili. But line it up, give it round 2.
Greenland Duff back to receive the kick for the Falcons, and we're ready to go. Chili raises his hand again, and we are underway. There's the kick. Nice end-over-end kick. Fielded at the 4-yard line. 5, 10, 15 across the 20, 25, 30, 35 up to the 38-yard line in good field position to start the game for Canyon View. Nice return by Caden Greenland, and that'll be where the Falcons will start first and 10. First offensive set of the game for Canyon View.
And that's one of those things that we talked about with Coach Milovich on Drive Time Sports, is those kick returns can have such a major impact on the speed of the game and the tempo, as well as just the momentum in your favor. You can come up with a big kick return, heck, even a kick return touchdown. That's going to swing the momentum instantly in your favor.
First down, 10 for the Falcons. Ball sits on the 38-yard line. Miller, the quarterback, 2 receivers, both sides. Shotgun formation. Man in motion goes away from us. Now goes the slot. Man in motion comes toward us. There's the snap. Handoff goes up the middle to Floyd. Floyd has running room across the 40, 45-yard line. Pickup of 8. The ball come loose. Or did he just break a tackle? Looks like he broke a tackle. It'll be enough for a first down up to the 49-yard line. Move the chains, gain of 11.
And a nice 11-yard gain to open this game for Floyd. One of those junior backs on this team who can have a major impact. Like we talked about in the pregame, Sonny, this is a very option-heavy team. We're going to see a lot of runs, maybe some quick passes. But Coach Milovich did hint that he does expect him to try and go deep early on in this game. Test those waters.
Ball sits on the far hash mark. Shotgun formation. Once again, give it up the middle. Floyd comes down the right side across the 50, 45-yard line. Pickup of 7. Coming up to make the tackle for the Carbon Dinos. That's a nice tackle by Sorensen. It'll be second down and 4. Pickup of 6.
And Sorensen is continuing that trend of Dinos secondary players who are just ball hawks across the field. They see where it's going. They will go down and they will make a play. We saw that a lot last season with Richards, and he graduated on to bigger and better things. But now the Dinos continuing that trend of having excellent secondary play.
2 plays, 2 runs by Jace Floyd, and both picking up good yardage. Second down, we'll call it 4 yards to go. Shotgun formation for Miller, the quarterback. The senior, 6'1", 185 pounds, wears number 4. There's the snap. This time he'll keep it himself, and he has running room across the 40 down to the 35. Still on his feet down to the 32-yard line, and it's a big pickup and move the chains again for the first down And so far on the ground, Canyon View's found something.
And Sonny, that was a beautiful sell on the option play by Miller. He does a good job blending with the running back last second, pulls, tucks very discreetly so the defense is not going to be able to see that ball, and he's able to scamper for a good 15-yard gain.
First down, 10. Ball sitting on the Carbon 32-yard line. 10-13 left to play. First quarter just underway. First offensive possession of the game. It's Floyd once again. Across the 30, 25, down to the 24. Nice pickup of about 8, maybe 9. Second down into the secondary before the Dinos can make the stop. We'll call it a gain of 8, 2nd and 2.
And that's been the Dinos' biggest problem so far, Sonny, is they haven't been able to make initial contact at the line of scrimmage. This offensive line unit just overpowering the Dinos, driving them back a good 5 yards, allowing their backs into the secondary.
Ball on the far hash mark. Give it off once again to Floyd. He'll work his way down to the 20. Inside the 20, down into the red zone, about the 16-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 17. Enough to move the chains again on a first down.
And Floyd has just been plowing through. A good job by the Dinos defensive line on making that first initial contact, but Floyd keeps his legs churning. He's able to drive forward for an additional 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, running like this, Aiden, there's no reason to put the ball in the air. They're so far this first drive doing anything they want on the ground with 9:22 and running left to play first quarter. 0-0. Canyon View with the football in the red zone on the far hash mark. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation once again. Handoff goes to Floyd again. He finds more running room across the 15. Down inside the 10. Close to the 5. They'll mark him on the 7. Probably be second down and a short 1 for Canyon View, and that's exactly what it will be.
Now, Sonny, we have seen 6 plays on this drive so far. 5 of them have gone to Floyd, who has powered his way to 42 yards on this drive.
Marking on the 8-yard line. Second down and a short 1. Shotgun once again, same formation for Canyon View. Fakes the handoff this time, keeps it himself. Gets inside the 5, close to the goal line. Depending on where they mark it, they're going to mark it just shy. It'll be first and goal for Canyon View. Nice run that time by Miller, the quarterback.
And Sonny, they've just done an excellent job marching down the field, just running the ball. They're not breaking out anything fancy. They're just doing good old-fashioned ground and pound football, and that's something we have seen the Dinos struggle against. We saw it against ALA, and we saw it against Ogden. They were able to contain it very well against Grand, but so far it's been a tough stop for the Dinos.
Just power between the hash marks for Canyon View. Did they call a touchdown on that?
Looks like they're still debating it.
No, they did. They called a touchdown. I didn't see a signal, but they said touchdown for Ryder Miller, and that will be 6-0 with 8:37 left to play in the first quarter.
And, marching down the field on nothing but runs, Sonny, you got to love what you see if you're a Canyon View fan. And that's what I like about Coach Miller for the Falcons is he adapts his offense very well to the group of kids he has. If he has a good group of wide receivers and a good quarterback, he's going to have a pass-heavy look. If not, he's going to have a very stellar run game. He really is a very good adapting head coach.
Beckstorm with the extra point, and it is good with 8:37 left to play in the first quarter. An impressive first drive for the Canyon View Falcons. They lead 7-0. It's Carbon Dino football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play when we come back.
Looking for financial solutions? At Cache Valley Bank, they're here to help. Whether you need commercial loans, mortgages, or expert financial advising, they've got you covered. Visit them today on the corner of First West and Main Street. Cache Valley Bank, your partner in financial success.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
Welcome back. 7-0 in favor of Canyon View and Aiden. That was an impressive first drive for the Falcons. They never really they didn't put the ball in the air. Stayed right between the hash marks. Power games right up the middle. And it's a successful drive. They score on their first offensive set, and it's 7-0.
7 plays, 7 rushes, Sonny. The Falcons came out intending to ground and pound, and they did just that. The Dinos defense just couldn't make contact at the line of scrimmage. Each play resulted in a gain of at least 5 yards.
There's the kick by Beckstorm, and it'll go to the 5-yard line, goes into the end zone. And they'll call it a touchback, and the Dinos will start on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. So the Dinos now have a chance to answer back on the offensive side for them. They trail 7-0. What do you expect to see here today, Aiden, for the offense of the Carbon Dinos?
Well, if we take a look at the starting lineup, Sonny, we're going to see a pretty similar lineup to what we saw last week. I'd expect to see a fair balance between run and pass plays, but when they do pass, I don't expect them to try and air it out as much. I'm expecting to see a little more of that quick dink and dime kind of play.
Dunn, the quarterback for the Carbon Dinos. Here we go. Shotgun formation, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Quick pitch comes to the right side. He goes to Packard. Does he get to the corner? He does. Across the 25. Pick up a 5. 2nd down and 5. Coming up to make the stop for Canyon View's Jacobson. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Dinos.
You know, I like the Dinos' approach here. They saw Canyon View come in and run the ball down their throats. They said, oh, yeah, you can do that. I can do you one better. And they're going to answer back in kind. A 5-yard gain to start it for Packard. The electric running back who we talked about coming into this contest, he has been just nightmarish to opposing defenses.
Make it again to 6, 2nd and 4. Nice pickup on 1st down, and that's important for the Dinos tonight to get positive yardage on 1st down. Dunn going to keep it himself. He gets dropped back in the backfield, back to the 23-yard line. It's going to make it 3rd and 7.
And Noah Macias coming in to make the big tackle, the big defensive lineman, the senior for the Falcons. He's able to track down Dunn and bring him down for an early 3-yard loss.
7:43 and running left to play here in the first quarter. 7-0 Canyon View.
So 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or in this case, Sonny, 5 yards forward, 3 yards back. The Dinos probably going to have to turn to the pass game on this down. You're in a place where Canyon View is capable of stopping your run. They're running that 4-man front. They're probably going to try and jam you up at the line, apply a lot of pressure to the quarterback. If it is a pass, the Dinos are going to have to be smart here.
3rd down, 7. Shotgun formation for the Dinos. Ball sits right in the middle of the field. They go left to right on your dial. Throw between the hash marks. Caught by the Dinos, and that'll be a 1st down. Nice catch. He found the opening. Did Finch, delivering the ball. Done for the 1st down and move the chains for the Carbon Dinos.
And you got to love when things go right like that, Sonny. A nice little gain for the duo of Dunn and Finch. Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
Carbon Dino football on 95.3 The Peak, also on KSUB, Cedar City, FM 107.3 and AM 590.
Dunn 1 of 1 on passing attempts now. Finch, the lone receiver in this contest. We've seen a balanced mix so far. 1 pass attempt got shut down before it could get started, but when they had the time, he had enough ability to find success.
Ball sits on the near hash mark. Dunn goes down the sidelines to Wilson. Goes up, makes a great effort. Can't come down with it. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
And it's one of those ones where those out-of-bounds lines can be deceiving. So you get running along on the seam, and you think you're inbounds, but Wilson kind of drifted out of bounds in between that warning track area. And when he tried to high point the ball, he did a good job of making the leap at the right time. But with 2 Falcons around him, it's going to be a hard catch regardless.
Wyatt Zimmer, one of the defenders there to cause that ball to drop incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Dinos. 2 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right side. 1 running back stands to the left of Dunn, who's going to throw. Looks left now between the hash marks. Throws to Wilson, incomplete. Nice defensive play. That time by Canyon View, falls to the ground. It'll be 3rd and 10.
And he did an excellent job in tracking that ball along the middle, not allowing Wilson. That's the thing about the teams now. Maddox Wilson, no secret weapon. He's a very easy target to try and find for both offenses and defenses. Works for the benefit and the detriment of the Dinos. That time, Canyon View sniffed that ball was going towards him.
Near hash marks, trips go to the left side. 6:45 left, first quarter, 7-0 Canyon View. Shotgun formation for Dunn. As the reverse goes to Wilson. Nothing doing. Does not fool the Canyon View defense. Back at the 30-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 5. It'll be 4th down. And the Dinos will probably have to punt this ball away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Canyon View Falcon defenders in on the stop.
And it was good initial contact by Rushton off the end to halt Wilson's forward progress. But again, coming right off of his sack, Noah Macias able to slow him down as well. One of those 4 Dinos. And it looks like they are breaking out the punt unit.
Sandoval will punt the ball away for the Carbon Dinos. There's the snap and the kick. Short kick coming to the right side is going to stay in bounds. It rolls to the 40 and then out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Canyon View. Good field position once again for the Falcons. They'll start at their own 35. 6:02 left first quarter, leading 7-0.
Near identical field position to where they started the first go-around, Sonny. They were able to capitalize that on that very well. And if I am head coach Burke Miller, I'm saying let's just keep running the ball. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're able to wind down the clock, limit Carbon's offensive possessions, and we're just picking up consistent yardage throughout. Again, that last drive took 7 plays, 7 straight runs for the Falcons, totaling about 65 yards.
Both teams, one possession, already down to 6 minutes left in the first quarter. So 7-0 Canyon View with the ball. They go right to left on your dial. Near hash mark sits the ball. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation, man in the slot. Handoff goes to Floyd up the middle. Across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
And so the Dinos defensive line made a good adjustment that I'm quite fond of. On that first drive, you saw them getting driven back pretty consistently by the offensive line unit for the Falcons. Instead of getting driven back this time, Sonny, they're doing what most offensive or defensive line coaches are going to tell you to do, and that's drop. If you can create a human pile up, you're going to slow down that running back, give your secondary time to make the play. It's a bit of a riskier move, but it's better than getting driven back 7 yards and allowing big plays consistently.
Junior Jared Simmons on the stop for the Carbon Dinos. 2nd down, we'll call it 6 yards to go. Shotgun formation, handoff, go to the right side. This is Sheridan. He finds running room across the 40-45. Flag comes in that area where it's usually holding, but we'll see. He runs for the 1st down, but we'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, right in that range at the line of scrimmage. And, yep, they are going to call hold against the Falcons. So a lucky break for the Dinos there as Sheridan had enough yardage to pick up the 1st down, but going to get called back a little bit. Going to go back about 10 yards from the initial line of scrimmage.
That is a spot foul. The flag sits on the 36-yard line, so it'll be 10 yards from there. Put it back to, actually, it's sitting on the 38-yard line. So they're going to move it back to the 28.
And
in between the 28 and 29, so it'll be 2nd and long for Canyon View.
And an injured Falcon player going off the field, wrapped around the arms of his coaches, is Cohen Carlson, the senior center. That's a hit to the offensive line, Sonny. He has been the main factor in driving the Dinos back on that. So you're going to hope that you have someone willing to step up in that center position, because that's one of those few positions, Sonny, where it's a lot more stressful than you might think.
5:13 left first quarter, 7-0 the score. Ball sits on the 29-yard line. We'll call it 2nd down, 16 yards to go for the Falcons. 2 receivers to the right side, 2 to the near side. Ball sits on the near hash mark. They go right to left. Shotgun formation for Miller, wants to throw. Looking down the left sidelines, finds someone, just misses his intended receiver.
Yeah, a little bit of an airmail there for the Falcons. Goes soaring out of bounds. Not much he can do in that.
2nd down. We'll call it 16 yards to go after the penalty. 7-0 Canyon View. First throw of the game for the Falcons. They really haven't needed to, Aiden. They've done what they wanted on the ground, but the penalty puts them back, gets them out of rhythm. Incomplete pass makes it 3rd down, 16. Shotgun formation, trips to the right side. Throws between the hash marks, intercepted at the 45-yard line, 40, 35, down to the 30. It's Sorensen with the interception for the Dinos, and the turnover, and the Dinos are in business. They mark it 1st down, 29-yard line.
And that was right to the arms of Sorensen. A good job by the defensive line applying pressure, forcing the throw from Miller, and Sorensen a good job tracking the ball, coming up with it, and making a nice return. The Dinos with their best field position tonight, Sonny, setting up on their own 29-yard line. A chance you feel like they've got to capitalize on.
He had a receiver. He just overthrew him. Went right into the arms of Sorensen. Nice return. 1st and 10 for the Dinos. Ball sits on the 29-yard line. 4:49 left to play in the first quarter. Shotgun formation for Dunn. 2 receivers go to the far side. 1 to the near side. Dunn wants to throw. Looks left. Throws to Wilson. Caught at the 25-yard line. Pick up a 4. 2nd down and 6 for the Dinos.
And a good job by Wilson absorbing contact as he comes down with the catch for about the 5-yard gain, Sonny. And you like when you see Wilson open in there. You know, it's not necessarily always a home run play, but you don't need to be hunting for those consistently. You just need to be in a place where you can find a guy, pick up 5 yards, keep this drive going.
2nd down. Call it 6. 4:16 left to play. Shotgun once again. Quick pitch goes to Packer around the right side. He's got some running room. Across the 25, the 20. He's close to the first down. Coming up to make the tackle for Canyon View is Ben Vest. But not before the first down by Packer. It's a good run and move the chains for the Dinos.
And he is just, that's what I like about Packard. He's not afraid of contact. He is always someone who's willing to engage with defenders, no matter how big the size differential may be. He is someone who will make those hits.
So the Dinos are in the red zone. First down at the 19-yard line. Fake the reverse. Throw out to the flat to Packard. Incomplete, and the flag comes in.
And even if that flag hadn't come in, Sonny Brock Neighbors right there to make the swat away. The Dinos just couldn't get that screen pass going.
Call it second down. Depending on what they do, this is going to be on the Dinos, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Move them back. It'll be 1st and 15 with 3:36 left to play in the first quarter.
And you'd rather take that than the aggressive 10-yard holding call. So you don't want a penalty necessarily, but if you're to take one there, you want the 5, not the 10.
Ball sits on the 24-yard line. We'll call it 1st and 15. Dinos come to the line of scrimmage, send 3 receivers to the left side, single receiver to the near side, shotgun for Dunn. In the pocket. Gets hit as he throws. It's intercepted down the sidelines, the right side, 30, 35, 40, 50, down to the 45-yard line. Canyon View gets the turnover back as Dunn took a hard shot.
No, he did. And it's not one of those shots where you can say it was a dirty hit. That was a very fair hit on the quarterback by Rushton. Preston Higgins reads the ball flying out of the hands perfectly off the contact. A nice 1-2 punch for the Falcons. They throw the interception. They get it right back in the red zone. Dinos unable to capitalize on that opportunity here in the first quarter. And with that run-heavy style of play we're seeing from Canyon View, this clock ticks down quite significantly. 3:26 left to go here in quarter number 1.
First down for Canyon View. Interception on the far side. Did not see the number. Apologize. So with 3:26 left first quarter, 7-0. Canyon View back in business as they get the ball back. 2 interceptions, 1 for each team. 1st and 10. Ball sitting on the Canyon View 47-yard line. Here's some running room across the 50 in the Carbon territory. Down to the 47-yard line. The ball carrier is Sheridan. Second down and 4.
And Sheridan giving Floyd a much-deserved break on the running game, Sonny. Up to 6 rushing attempts in this game for 45 yards. Sheridan takes his technically second carry of the game. The first got called back due to that holding penalty. And it looks like the bad luck might continue for him based on how this flag flies.
Face mask on the Dinos.
Face mask against Carbon.
So that's going to move the chains.
Looks
5-yard penalty for the Dinos.
Going to call it the incidental face mask, not the intentional variety, which results in a 15-yard personal foul. So not the call the Dinos would have wanted, but when you compare the severity of the 2 calls, if you have to settle for one, you're taking the incidental face mask.
Shotgun formation. Once again, handoff up the middle, running room across the 35, close to the first down. The ball carrier once again to Sheridan. He'll pick up about 9, depending on where they mark it. Going to be just short of the first down. Are they going to give it to him? Nope, short by about a yard, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, the end of the chain gang got a little excited there, Sonny. He started moving before the ref gave him the okay. But a nice pickup of 9 on the play by Sheridan. It must be nice to have that 2-headed running back monster going in full force. You can switch from Floyd to Sheridan seamlessly.
Well, every running play is getting into the Carbon Dino secondary. 2 receivers, both sides, shotgun. This time the handoff goes, and not this time. Good defensive play by the Dinos. It's going to be a loss of 2. The ball carrier that time was Jace Floyd, and he had nowhere to go. Good defense by the Dinos.
Yeah, and they finally switched things up. They stopped applying that normal 4-man rush that we were seeing on the drives 1 and 2. This time they did a little bit of a stunt blitz, and they were able to send the defense in and get that loss.
So we got 3rd down. We'll call it 4 for Canyon View. They send 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation. Floyd stands at the right side of Miller. They'll give it to Floyd. He'll come to the right side. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles. Battles his way close to the first down. He's going to be shy of the first down by probably about a yard. It'll be 4th down, and we'll see what Canyon View does here. I'm sure they're kind of in no man's land here, so they'll probably go for it here on 4th down.
And Jordan Nichols, the one able to eventually bring Floyd down. He looked like they had him dead to rights, about 3 yards behind the initial line of scrimmage, but he fights forward, keeps the legs churning. He's able to fight back 2 yards that he lost on the previous play.
120, well, it's down to 118 left to play first quarter, 7-0. 4th down, we'll call it a long 2. He goes under center. Miller with the long snap count, trying to get the Dinos to jump. Then they'll call timeout.
Fantastic discipline from the Carbon defensive line. Not a single movement, Sonny. They stayed still as statues down there to force the timeout from Canyon View. But this is a discussion we always have. You can use those timeouts a little bit differently in the first half as compared to the second.
Yeah, I love that. Try to get them to jump, get the free first down if they don't use your timeout. Timeout, yeah, we talked about it in the last game. The timeouts in the first half completely different than in the second half. Towards the end of the game, you want those timeouts. Right now, you want to maybe make something happen, make sure you don't make as a mistake. That's how timeouts are used in the first half.
Yeah, they can be used more as a bailout. And I think that's a big difference than the second half. When you want to keep them going, you might need them for a late-game situation.
Carbon Dino football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play KSUB. In Cedar City tonight, FM 107.3 and 590 AM. Also, Castle Country Radio Carbon YouTube you can watch, along with the KSL Sports app. And CastleCountryRadio.com, you can stream the game. So all kinds of ways to watch this game tonight with 1:04 left in the first quarter. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers both sides for Miller. Miller fakes the handoff. Looking to the right side. Has a man downfield. Caught for the touchdown. A beautiful pass by a Miller. Floyd catches it right over the top of his shoulder, and a touchdown for Canyon View, and they move the ball on the ground. They can throw the ball as well.
And Sonny, that was a beautiful dime from Miller to Floyd. The connection stays alive there. The first successful pass attempt of the game for Canyon View, coming on that 35-yard bomb. Courtesy of Miller's, just soared through the air. Saying there was a beautiful spiral on it. It looked like a pass you'd see in a movie. There was a lot of cinematography to that throw.
Extra point attempt. Beck Storm will attempt it for Canyon View. Try to make it 14-0, but that was a beautiful pass. Right over the shoulder where it needed to be, and the touchdown for Canyon View. The extra point is up and good. 59 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Canyon View 14, the Dinos nothing. Dinos get the ball back when we return.
Imagine this. You're cruising down the highway, windows down, music up, but suddenly your car sputters. Don't let car troubles break your stride. At Cars, Complete Auto Repair Service in Wellington, they're dedicated to keeping your vehicle running smoothly so you can keep enjoying those flawless drives. From regular maintenance like oil changes and wheel alignments to tune-ups and even new tires, Cars is here to help. Visit Cars today and drive away confident knowing your car is in its best shape ever.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino Football, 14-0 Canyon View.
For our friends down in Cedar City, if you take a look at the State Bank of Southern Utah scoreboard, 14-0 in favor of the Falcons with 59 seconds left to go here in quarter number 1.
Oh. 2 drives for Canyon View, both of them pretty impressive, running the ball and then showing they can throw the ball as well. There's the kick. Build it at the 5-yard line for the Dinos to the 10, 15, 20. Nichols comes to the 25. Breaks a tackle and gets up to the 28-yard line. First down and 10 for the Dinos. That's where they will start their second offensive possession. Down 14-0. And Aiden, you kind of feel like it's early in the game, but you really feel like the Dinos have to do something on offense in this possession.
Now, with how effectively Canyon View has been running the ball and how easily they've kept the clock running throughout the game, you need to make the most of your opportunities. So far, that hasn't been the case. A punt and an interception for the Dinos has spelled disaster for them so far. It might be a low-scoring game, Sonny, but right now, from start to finish, it's been Canyon View.
Now, they got the interception. The Dinos had the ball on the Canyon View 29 and came up empty. Shotgun formation for Dunn. Hands the ball off right side. This is Packard across the 30. Gets to the 31-yard line, and then a host of Canyon View defenders in on the stop. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them to be exact, and it's a pickup of 2, 2nd and 8 for the Dinos.
Averaging about 4 yards a carry to start this game, Sonny. Packard has been the key focal point of the Dinos offense so far. You've seen a few passes thrown to Maddox Wilson. Dunn so far 2 of 3 for 13 yards in the contest and an interception. The defense of Canyon View has been stifling. They're making a substitution right now. Rushing off the field for Canyon View is Colt Rushton. Switching him out. That does a lot for the Dinos. That's a big body out there, a very menacing defensive player. When he's out on the field, in his stead, they're going to be throwing in Cale Hutchinson, the junior defensive lineman.
Second down, we'll call it 6. Clock says 11 seconds and running. 14-0 Falcons. Dunn wants to throw, has time, throws out in the right flat to Wilson. He'll make the catch, gets up to the 35, marking the 36. Pickup of 3, maybe 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd and short for the Dinos, probably 2.
And Dunn has been getting these balls out in the nick of time, Sonny. Every time the ball is seconds away from leaving his hands, he has a Canyon View defender right on him, kind of headhunting him along the way. Wilson adds a second catch of the day for 9 yards on that play. Sets up a very manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
So clock stops as he went out of bounds with 3 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. 3rd down and 2 for the Dinos. It's a big play for Carbon.
Yeah, this is what they got to do, Sonny. They got to find a way to convert on this opportunity. You can't afford another punt here because based on how the last one went, Canyon View going to be starting with some pretty good field position, barring a lucky roll.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 seconds left on the We Win Injury Loss scoreboard.
We'll get some scores from around the state for you here in a few minutes. Snapping the handoff up the middle, and there's no place to go. That's a great defensive play for Canyon View coming up to make that play. Number 55, Hutchinson, the junior, and it's going to be 4th and 2. There was nowhere to go for the Dinos.
He checks into the game, and his impact felt almost immediately, Sonny. Came in like a freight train, driving the running back down to end the first quarter of action here at Carbon High School.
So we've played 1 here at Carbon. It's Canyon View 14, Carbon Dinos nothing. When we come back, 4th down for the Dinos.
Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Kelly, owner of Castle Valley Orthodontics. What's keeping you from having a perfect smile? We understand what you want from a local orthodontist, and here at Castle Valley Orthodontics, you'll be treated like family. Call Castle Valley Orthodontics at 637-2222 for a free consultation.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back, Urban Dino Football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. Also joining us tonight, KSUB in Cedar City, FM 107.3 and 590 AM.
And we'll run through all the ways to watch the game again at halftime, Sonny, because if I were to list them all out, we would be about 6 minutes through the second quarter, so we'll avoid that. But the Dinos find themselves in a pretty tough situation. They're going to have to punt the ball away here, facing a 4th and 3rd on their own side of the field. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out there. Maybe we can expect to see a little pooch punt.
4th down 3. Throwing to the right side. It's caught. Depending on where they mark it, he didn't get there.
Now,
he caught the ball at the 38-yard line, but they had to get to the 39. He's going to be a yard short of the first down. The ball will go over to Canyon View.
Oh, and it's a heartbreaking play, Sonny. Inches short
nice
from
catch.
finding the first down. It was a very good catch. He was sliding out of bounds as it came down. But again, Canyon View sets up for another offensive possession with spectacular field positioning. And looking at their drive so far, Sonny, 2 of them have resulted in a score. One, though, resulted in an interception courtesy of Caleb Sorensen for the Dinos.
So it'll be first down and 10 for Canyon View after this play. We'll get some scores from around the state. So it's first and 10. Ball sits on the 37-yard line. Far hash mark for Canyon View, going left to right on your dial. 2 receivers to the far side. One out near us all by himself. The handoff goes to the right side. A little bit of running room. Pickup of 1 maybe for Sheridan, and then coming up to make the start for the Dinos.
And scores from around the state, Sonny, at the end of 1. South Sevier up 20-0 over Providence Hall. Beaver and Duchesne locked in a tight battle, 14-14 there over in our sister station, KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM. Emory up 14-0 over the Judge Memorial Catholic Bulldogs. And after 1, Kanab up 21-0 over Millard. 1A football, Sonny, is a scary, scary place to be. So many very talented teams there, and Emory's played 2 of them this season. I'm kind of glad Carbon stuck to the 2A slate of things.
Yeah. Tusher makes the stop for the Carbon Dinos. Second down and 9. 14-0 Canyon View with the lead and the ball.
And a delay of game procedure penalty. A little bit of confusion coming from Canyon View. The last second, Sonny, they tried to bring Hudson Springer out of the game, and they wanted to bring Floyd back in, but they just couldn't communicate that in time. They're trying to communicate the play to Floyd as he came back into the game. Results in a 5-yard procedure penalty.
So far, it's been a clean game. 2 penalties for Canyon View for 15 yards and 1 for Carbon for 5.
And, that's a significant difference from what we were seeing last game. We saw a lot of personal fouls flying, a lot of holding calls last game. But the officiating crew has done a good job in letting them play, but keeping the game in order.
Well, the more weeks you play, the less penalties you have because, you get in the rhythm.
You always hope, at least, that you're going to have less penalties.
For the most part. 2 receivers, both side near hash mark, sits the ball. Shotgun formation. Miller wants to throw. Rolling left, still looking, rushed out of the pocket, got on the sidelines. He might pick up maybe about 5. They're going to mark him at the 35-yard line, pick up of 6, make it third down.
That was a good scramble by Miller, but what the Dinos defensive line unit needs to remember is that they can't let him escape the pocket. As tempting as it is to fly upfield, chase him around, he's going to outrun you 9 times out of 10. You need to do a better job containing him within that pocket. Let it collapse around him because the secondary had the receivers on lock. They weren't allowing anything there. It was a simple matter of collapsing the pocket. Instead, he squirts out, able to pick up a gain of about 6 on the play instead.
Third down, 8 for Canyon View. 2 receivers, both sides, shotgun formation once again for Miller. Sheridan in the backfield. Miller wants to throw. Screen pass. Caught by Floyd, and he'll get across the 30 down to 25 to the 20 and move the chains for a first down. That's a simple little screen pass. He made the catch, and then it was the run after the catch that moves the chains.
Yeah, no, that was a very deliberate screenplay. It was one you could see from at least our vantage point very obviously as soon as that offensive line released after about a 2 count and started flying upfield to lay down blocks in the secondary. You could tell that Canyon View was cooking up something, and that something was a 15-yard gain.
Ball sits left hash mark. They go left to right. 2 receivers, both sides, shotgun formation for Miller. He'll keep it himself. Finds some running room across the 15 to the 10, inside the 10 down to the 5-yard line. Brought down there by Sorensen, but not before he picks up the first down and move the chains once again for Canyon View.
I'm ashamed to admit it, Sonny, but he had me fooled up there, too. I thought that was a handoff to Sheridan, as did Maddox Wilson running along after him. But before you could get on that, Miller is already 15 yards up the field, adding to his total for the day. Already up to 44 rushing yards and a touchdown.
First down goal. Ball sits on the 4-yard line for Canyon View, trying to make it 21-0. They lead 14-0, 9:50 in running. Handoff goes up the middle. Nothing doing that time. Might be a loss on the play. Sheridan, the ball carrier, coming up to make the stop for the Dinos is Maddox Wilson.
He came flying off that edge like a bat out of hell, Sonny. He's able to bring him down for the loss. That's the kind of play you want to see from the Dinos defense in this situation. Bend, don't break, because if you break, they're going to go up 3 scores early in the game. And like we talked about, with the offense being as run-heavy as it is for Canyon View, that clock rarely going to stop.
Loss of 1, second down and goal on the 5. Shotgun once again, 2 receivers come to the near side, the right side. One lone receiver to the left side. Handoff. Fakes the handoff once again. Miller goes to the left side, dives into the end zone for the touchdown. 5-yard run by the quarterback, Miller, making it 20-0.
And this is his third total touchdown of the day, Sonny. 2 coming by land, 1 through the air on the 35-yard bomb to Floyd. But he has controlled the pace. You talk about in the quarterback discussion, game changers and game managers. Miller, definitely a game changer, dictating the pace of the game using both his arms and his legs. The Dinos can't find an answer to the fake.
Junior Jackson Beckstorm on to attempt the extra point for Canyon View. They lead 20-0 with 9:01 left to play in the second quarter. So far, the Dinos have had no answer to the Canyon View offense.
That they haven't, Sonny. They've just been grounding and pounding, and when the defense sells out on the run, Canyon View will hit you with a deep pass.
Extra point is up and good. 9:01 left to play first half. 21-0 Canyon View. The Dinos get the opportunity when we come back here on 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
At Clean Cut Roofing and Siding, they believe every home deserves to look its best. Since 2003, Clean Cut Roofing and Siding has been transforming homes and businesses with precision and care, ensuring your peace of mind with every shingle and siding panel installed. Whether you're updating an old look, repairing storm damage, or bringing life back to your storefront, trust them to handle every detail. Visit cleancutroofingsiding.com to schedule your free consultation. Clean Cut Roofing and Siding, where quality meets craftsmanship.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on The Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
(21-6).
And Sonny, my goodness, what a run back by Nichols, able to push the ball down the field. For those of you who just missed out on that, Nichols takes the kick all the way 90 yards to the house for a touchdown, a second kickoff return touchdown of the season. Sonny, what a run by Jordan Nichols.
He found a gap right between the hash marks, and once he got past the initial coverage, took it to the right side and just outran everybody.
That he did, Sonny. He was able to fly up the field with ease, and that's what really sets Nichols apart. He's able to really navigate that field, and once he can find a modicum of space, he's able to break away 4 long touchdowns on those kickoffs, and we talked about this pregame. Those are plays that can completely swing the momentum in your favor. No matter how one-sided an affair of a game it may seem, a kickoff return touchdown is going to be able to bring you back into it no matter where you are.
Eli Chili on to attempt the extra point for the Dinos. The snap and the set. The kick is up. The kick is good. We have a flag.
Yeah, it's going to be a false start late coming in as running off along the sideline for the Dinos, Sonny, was Ricky Sandoval trying to get into that left tackle spot. Unable to get set in time before the snap. That's going to set the Dinos back 5 yards and make them retry the kick.
That 90 yards for Nichols?
90 yards for Nichols on the kick return.
Making it 21-6. We'll try the extra point again, 5 yards back. So once again, the Dinos will try the extra point after the penalty. 21-6, trying to make it 21-7. The Dinos needed that in the worst way. There's the snap, the set. The kick is up. The kick is no good.
Oh, Sonny, and that is a definite play that you're going to be kicking yourself about later on in the night. If that turns out to be the difference maker here, the missed extra point halts them. Still, you put 6 on the board, courtesy of Nichols on the kick return. Does an excellent job.
So with the score 21-6, we'll leave it here. 8:47 left to play in the second quarter. We got scores from around the state, Aiden.
Looking at some scores from around the state, Sonny, we're still sitting pretty much where we were at last time. Kanab up 21-0 over Millard. Beaver and Duchesne deadlocked at 14 apiece in a battle for a potential 1A champion. Emory up 14-0 over Judge Memorial. Juab and Manti dueling, a game which Manti was favored very heavily coming into. Right now, Juab up 12-7. Down in Parowan, bit of an interesting situation for them. We always seem to run into one of those. Power is out, game on pause.
So Emory with the 14-0 lead on our sister station, 107.3 FM, 750 AM. Jordan Buscarini and Travis Anderson down there doing that game for Castle Country Radio. You can also watch that game just like here. Here it's 21-6 on that big kick return by the Carbon Dinos. Greenland back to receive the kick for Canyon View, and there's the kick. We got a whistle.
Feels like every time the Dinos go to kickoff, Sonny, that flag along the far sideline flies. We'll see if this is going to be another clock issue or if the Dinos are actually going to find themselves in a setback.
5-yard penalty on the Dinos.
Now, those procedure penalties are the ones you can't really afford to get. It's those small things, those little details that make all the difference in the world. Carbon, unfortunately, unable to capitalize on that. Instead, they're going to be marching back about 5 yards.
So the Dinos will kick the ball away with 8:47 left to play in the first half, trailing 21-6 on the big kick return for the Dinos.
And Jordan Nichols, just a game changer in the kickoff return aspect of things. He is electric. And I was wondering why they didn't move the ball after throwing the flag. I just thought I was going crazy again, but no, they will move the ball 5 yards back, set them up. They'll be kicking from their own 35-yard line.
I don't think they moved it last time.
They didn't, and I thought that was just a clock mistake, but maybe after that one.
Yep.
You never know. You never know what the officials are going to do.
So 8:47 left to play here in the first half. 21-6 the score. The Dinos trailing Canyon View. Region play beginning here tonight at Carbon High School. Nice kick. Fielded by Greenland at the 15, 20, 25. Finds some running room across the 35. Gets up to the 37-yard line. Brought down there, and that's where they'll start first down and 10.
An ankle-snatching play coming courtesy of O'Haron on that. He's been a great linebacker for the Dinos so far, stepping up as a sophomore, one of those many underclassmen on this team who have had a major impact on the program. You saw him get a few carries offensively against Grand, but since then he's been a very defensive specialist for the Dinos.
So you got the momentum your way with the big kick return. Now this is a huge defensive set for the Dinos. They got to get the ball back to the offense. First down and 10. The ball sits on the 37-yard line. We have a whistle.
And both teams going to be hungry. Canyon View wants to add another score onto the board. Carbon wants to halt the momentum of the Falcons and keep it all for themselves.
Sandoval will come off the field for the Carbon Dinos, and Dominic Fox will enter for the Dinos. First down, 10. Here we go. Shotgun, they go left to right. Two receivers go to the left side and the near side here to the right side. One receiver. Handoff goes up the middle. It's Floyd. He'll get a yard, and that's it. Nice defensive play by the Dinos. The Dinos' defense seems to be settling in a little bit.
That they have. Through his first 6 rushing attempts, Sonny, Floyd was able to accumulate 45 yards. Since then, on three attempts, but after they've only allowed 46 total, only a gain of 1 yard coming for Floyd. He's lost a few, gained it right back, and then that 1 yard gain has set him apart.
Trips coming to the right side, left side, single receiver, shotgun formation for Miller. Man goes in motion towards us. Here's the quick throw outside. This is Floyd. He gets across the 45, knocked out of bounds. Going to be close to the first down. They're going to mark him at the 46. They needed to get to the 47. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Nice little 8-yard gain on the play, Sonny. You gotta like when they start trying to throw you off like that. They run typically on the inside, and it looks like they're going to mark him for the first down.
7-yard.
I thought it looked like the change was at the 38. They're going to give him the first down. So it's 1st and 10 with the ball on the 37-yard line.
Well, and they get to continue to march downfield.
First down and 10 for Canyon View. Ball sits on the near hash mark. They go left to right on your dial. 2 men in the backfield. Handoff goes to Sheridan up the middle. Finds running room in the Dino territory to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 7. Second down.
Nice little 7-yard pickup for Sheridan. He's been doing a good job in that backup running back role, gaining a lot of glory for himself as he marches downfield for Canyon View.
Maurer on the stop, gain of 8, second down and 2. 7:37 left to play first half, 21-6. So far, the Dinos on the defensive side, no answer for Canyon View. Need to get a stop here after the big kick return. Here's a throw out. It's going to be a dead play. The flag comes flying in.
And we'll see what the conference of the officials has to say about this one. But before the whistle, definitely going to be some kind of procedure penalty.
Will be against Canyon View. 5-yard penalty. We'll move it back. We'll make it second down. We'll call it 7.
And that sets them back. That was a very manageable 2nd and 1 situation for the Falcons. Instead, they face a much tougher 2nd and 6.
We'll do a game set here with 7:21 left to play in the first half. Canyon View 21, the Carbon Dinos 6, second down and 7. Ball sits right at the 50-yard line. Sonny Buscarini, Aiden Mortensen bringing you the action here from Carbon High School. Region play beginning of the night. Both these teams 2-1 on the season. There's the snap. Fake to Sheridan and the quarterback keeper by Miller. He breaks away, gets into the secondary. First down to the Carbon 29-yard line. Big run. It looked like he was stopped, but he weaved his way through for the first down.
Yeah, it looked like they had him dead to rights at the line of scrimmage again, but he was able to spin out of it. That was really made the difference. He threw a few spin cycles in there, bounced further out to the left until he had running room, and then he broke away with a burst of speed. 6 rushing attempts on the game for Miller, up to 69 yards now.
Yeah, he's going to give that ball to Sheridan, and he pulled it up right at the last second. He saw a little gap for himself, and he picked up the first down. Nice play, moved the chains forward. Canyon View at the Dinos' 29-yard line.
And they're just continuing to march downfield, Sonny. The clock continues to tick down to 6:30 now in the first half of play. Canyon View's offense has just been relentless. They rarely throw, but when they do, they've found success. Yep. But where it's really shined for them tonight has been the run game.
2 receivers, 1 on each side. Shotgun formation, 2 running backs stand on each side of Miller. Handoff goes to Floyd across the 30 to the 25. Works his way down for a pickup of 4. We'll make it 2nd and 6. Host of Dinos in on the stop, led by Nichols.
And Sonny, in the game, up to 142 rushing yards now are the Falcons. They've been grounded and pounded downfield, and they've had a few drives aided by stellar field positioning to start it off. That's something the Dino special teams unit is going to want to shore up, whether it be punt, whether it be kick return. You can't allow as big of a gain or as great a starting position as you've afforded them throughout the contest.
2nd and 6, 5:34 and running left to play first half. 21-6, Canyon View with the lead and trying to add. Ball sits on the near hash mark. Shotgun formation. Same set as last time. This time fake to Sheridan and the keeper by the quarterback Miller. He'll pick up maybe 1. Nice defense that time by the Dinos. They didn't bite on the fake. Just a pickup of 1. It's going to make it 3rd down and a long 5. Huge play for the Dino defense.
Yeah, if you can get the stop here, force them to either kick the field goal or go for it on a 4th and deep situation, you can swing the momentum in your favor. We talked about it after Nichols' kickoff return. This was a drive that was important for both teams momentum-wise. The Dinos looking to hold on to the momentum set up by the Nichols run. Canyon View looking to snatch it right back and to bring their lead back to 3 scores.
Well, they're up 21-6. Field goal right here would be about a 52-yard field goal. This is probably 2-down territory. There's the snap. Miller wants to throw. Throws that slant over the middle. It's caught at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown. Making the catch is Caden Greenland, and it's a touchdown for Canyon View. 25-yard pass play. It's 27-6.
And Miller just doing whatever he wants to the Dinos defense, whether it be by throwing it or by running it. Able to find a very successful connection there with Greenland.
25-yard pass play. 4:31 left to play in the first half. 27-6 extra point attempt. Beck Storm will attempt it. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 4:31 left to play first half, 28-6, and Canyon View's offense continues to roll.
That they are, Sonny. They ran the ball down the field, and when the Dinos finally started selling out on the run, they were able to throw the deep pass, set themselves up for a 25-yard score. Canyon View, it's hard to stop them because they're so run-heavy. They lull you into a false sense of security thinking you can sell out on the defensive side, throw a blitz, sacrifice a safety or a corner as a part of that blitz, and as soon as you do that, they key on it and they take advantage.
Looks like our concession
4:31
down there.
left to play first half, 28-6. Carbon Dino football on 95.3 The Peak. This is where the Dinos play.
And if you are Carbon here, you're wanting to see another major kickoff return, but they're probably going to try and avoid kicking it at all costs to Nichols, given that he's returned 2 of those kicks this season for a touchdown.
Johnson and Nichols back to receive the kick for the Dinos. The weather couldn't ask for anything nicer. The clouds rolled away. There is absolutely no wind. It's just a beautiful night for high school football here at Carbon High School.
It's gorgeous tonight, Sonny. I love the weather here.
Line drive kick. Picked up at the 5 to the 10 to the 15. Here comes Nichols to the 15-yard line, and this time he's brought down. First and 10 for the Dinos. They'll start on the 15-yard line. Nice play by Rushton to make the stop on the kick return. So 4:24 left to play. The Dinos trailing 28-6.
And Canyon View saw what he was capable of the last go-around, Sonny. They don't want any more of that, so they pinned him at the 15-yard line. A good special teams play by the Falcons. A long 85 yards to march downfield, Sonny.
Listening on radio, the Dinos in their blue pants with the gray jerseys, blue numbers, white helmets, all white with blue helmets for Canyon View tonight. 28-6 the score, 4:24 left to play in the first half. Shotgun formation for the Dinos. We have a whistle and a timeout, Carbon. We'll take it with them with 4:24 left to play first half. Dinos down 28-6. They have the ball when we come back.
Discover peace of mind with Don's Hometown Insurance, now even closer to home at their new location, 58 West Main Street in Price. Connect directly with friendly agents ready to tailor a package just for you. Imagine bundling your home, auto, and life insurance, simplifying your life while maximizing your savings. Experience personalized service designed to protect what matters most to you. Visit Don's Hometown Insurance today and feel the difference.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
First down 10 for the Dinos. Ball sitting on the 15-yard line. Reverse on the ground, picked up by Wilson. Breaks one tackle and gets close back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 2. Will make it 2nd and 12. Not a clean exchange for the Dinos. Causes a loss of a couple on the play, so it'll be 2nd down. 4:08 left to play, and it's football season here on Castle Country Radio on our sister station KOAL. Last night we had the NFL. Utah Ute football will be on KOAL as well. Las Vegas Raiders.
Lots of sports to be had, Fanny, as the Dinos reapproach the line of scrimmage.
Shotgun formation for the Dinos. Dunn wants to throw the little screen pass to the middle of the field. Caught by Packer. He's got running room. 25, 30, 35, 40, and a nice defensive play running him down. The ball comes loose, but I'm pretty sure he was down, and he was. Nice hustle by Canyon View to stay with that play. Because he was ahead of the pack.
That it was, Sonny, and it took a lot of great pursuit angles from the Falcons players to try and chase him down, but a great job selling the screen pass by Dunn, dropping back into his own end zone. A risky call by Coach Milovich, but one that was executed beautifully by the team.
Yes. Whistle as the Dinos come to the line of scrimmage. Stoppage in play.
Hey there, food lovers. It's Bill Hicks from Farlano's Cafe, your new favorite spot for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whether you're craving a hearty omelet, a fresh salad, our golden curly fries, or our mouth-watering pastas, we've got you covered. And we're open 7 days a week. So come on down to Farlano's Cafe, where every meal is a celebration. Remember, it's where the locals eat. Visit us at Farlano's, where great food and great company come together. See you soon.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
For the Dinos. Throw between the hash marks. Ball caught by Maurer at the 45-yard line. Will pick up of 2, make it 4th down and 5. With 2:16 left to play, down 28-6. What do you do here, Aiden? Do you punt the ball away? Do you go for it on 4th down to get a 4th and 5?
You got to go for it, Sonny. You got to find a way to try and get yourself back in this game. And with 2 minutes left, you got to find a way, because if you get it, great. If you don't, and you punt it away, they're still going to have 2 minutes and some change to try and navigate downfield, but that clock continues to tick due to the run. So going to be closer to about a minute 30. And it looks like they are going to opt to go for it. I think it's a good choice by Coach Milovich.
So they go for it on 4th down, 4th and 5 shotgun formation. Dunn goes back and takes a knee. And that will be Canyon View ball.
I think I can kind of explain what he was probably trying to do. Thought he had an extra down, wanted to run the clock just a little bit more. A timeout called by Carbon before that happened. So
there we go. So it's still 4th down.
The loss negated. Yep. The ball comes down. Definitely probably still going to try and go for it. I expect to see him try and draw him off sides a little bit. But yeah, it's a tough decision to make as a coach, but I think with given the time situation, you do start the second half with the ball.
Yep.
They kicked off early. They kicked off to start the game. They have a chance to try and do something with that kickoff, but if you can go down, find a score, convert on this 4th down, I think you set yourself up in a very good position to start your comeback march.
So we got 4th and 5 for Carbon. They called the timeout. Carbon Dino Football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show coming up. We'll look at some stats. We'll look at some scores from around the state. Don't forget, after the game, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show as well, so don't go anywhere. Trips go to the far side, the right side, the left side, double. Shotgun formation for Dunn. He looks right, still looking. Throws down the right side, has a man. It's knocked away. Good defense that time by Canyon View. He had a man there, but it would have had to have been a perfect pass to thread that in between the two defenders. Vest was there. Also there was Higgins to knock the ball away, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Canyon View. Ball sitting on the Carbon 45-yard line.
And I like the risk taking. I really do. You had an opportunity down there, nearly threads the needle on that one, but like you said, that's a tough catch to make when you have two defenders around you like that, but not the wrong throw to make. One that you see an opportunity and you take it. Canyon View, we've seen them play with a lot of speed so far this game, and they're able to capitalize on that. We saw them chase down Packard earlier in the game. They were able to slow him down on what looked to be a sure touchdown. As walking off the field right now, Sonny, for Canyon View is going to be their big defensive end and tackle, Colt Rushton. Helped off the field, walking underneath his own power now. Got two coaches wrapped around him, but like you said, Canyon View's taken over at the 45-yard line, and a chance to try and march down the field to tack on one more score before we go to the halftime break.
First couple of drives for Canyon View, nice long drives. But here, the last few drives for Canyon View, they've had excellent field position. They get it again on the Carbon 45-yard line. 1st down and 10 with 1:30 left to play in the first half. Canyon View trying to add to that 28-6 lead as two receivers come to the near side. One to the far side. They go left to right on your dial. Shotgun formation for Miller. Miller hands the ball off to Floyd over to the left side. Tries to get around Wilson. He does. Fights his way up to the Dino 41-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play, and that's a nice run.
That was a big, powerful run by Floyd, able to duck out of the reaching arms of Maddox Wilson and pick himself up.
And that's not easy.
That's not. No, he is a strong kid. So the fact that you're able to duck out of that and move the ball a little bit forward, 5 yards approximately, that's a good play for Canyon View, getting out of bounds as well. Don't have to use any timeouts. Clock stops, 1:22 left to go as Canyon View holds the 28-6 advantage.
Ball sits on the far hash mark. He stepped out of bounds on the 41-yard line. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Miller wants to throw. Deep drop, screen pass. Goes to Floyd. He has running room across the Dino 30 to the 25. Move the chains on the 1st down. Wilson makes the stop for the Dinos, but not before a big game for Canyon View.
And that was another beautiful screen pass by Canyon View, Sonny. They execute that so well, able to move it with ease whenever he comes down. Both times they've thrown it, it's resulted in a 15-yard gain for the Falcons. And they set themselves up now at the 25-yard line.
So 1:03 left to play, first half, clock running. Two receivers both sides. There's the snap. Quick throw goes out to the left side. Ball caught at the 20-yard line and then knocked out of bounds. It's Rigby with the catch. Pickup of about 7, maybe 8 on the play, down in the red zone to the Carbon 19-yard line.
And, Sonny, they're making them do it with their arm now, given the clock situation. You want to keep passing. It's a time frame where every second is going to count, and they're trying to make the most of it, giving them that insta-stop situation if the pass is to fall to the ground.
Ball sits on the 19. They need to get to the 17 for the 1st down. 2nd down, 3. Two receivers both sides. Shotgun for Miller once again. High snap goes over Miller's head. Could be trouble. He'll cover it back at the 37-yard line. And that's just a smart play by Miller. The snap goes over his head. There's no reason to take a chance. You're up 28-6. Just fall on the ball. If you try to pick it up, that's possible touchdown for the Dinos if they get to it first. That's a good play.
It's best to just dive on the ball, limit the damage before it can get much, much worse. Maddox Wilson hot on his heels as he dives for it. If he tries to pick that up, stumbles, misses the ball, that's a sure touchdown for the Dinos. So a very veteran move by Miller.
Clock says 20. Shotgun once again, two receivers. Miller down the left sidelines, throws. It's incomplete. Intended for Rigby down the left sidelines. Falls to the ground, incomplete.
Good defensive pressure there by the Dinos. You love the secondary play coming from Ricky Sandoval. Normally we see him as the heat-seeking linebacker in the run game. This time dropping back, able to force the incompletion.
4th and 19. 14 seconds left to play here in the first half. Canyon View up 28-6. Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show. We'll go over stats. We'll look at scores from around the state of Utah. Talk a little bit about what needs to happen in the second half. And don't forget about the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show. Throw down the right side, overthrew his intended receiver. Ball was intended for Floyd. And it'll be Dino football with 9 seconds left to play in the first half. So what do you do if you're the Dinos? You take a knee,
you're taking
call it, or you try to make a shot? I say you take a shot.
You take the shot. What is the worst thing that could happen? A pick six is the worst thing that could happen, or maybe a fumble recovery for a touchdown. We have to be in a very doomer mindset to try and go for think about something like that. Here, you find yourself down a few scores. You need to find a way to get points on the board, and quickly, best way to do that, taking the long ball. But Canyon View breaking out 4 safety look, covering 4 deep. They're trying to limit their ability to do that.
You make a big play, you get the ball back to start the second half. Dunn's going to throw to Wilson. Incomplete. It hit the ground.
Yeah, it hits the ground.
It was there.
It was there.
They were going to try that hook and ladder again.
The only thing that could have really impeded that progress, Ben Vest, at the ready in that 4 deep coverage. He was going to lock down on Packard on that, so they would have gotten a nice first down play, but ball touches the ground. No such luck on that. They take a second down with 6 seconds left. They add 1 second back onto the clock.
Second down for the Dinos. Break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Ball stopped on the incomplete pass. 2 receivers come to the near side for the Dinos. Ball sits on the far hash mark. They go right to left on your dial. Done with the handoff. Packard finds some running room across the 40 to the 45-yard line, and he's stopped there, and that will end the first half of play.
And it was a good run by Packard on that. He breaks a few tackles at the line of scrimmage, plows through. He had a head full of steam before being met by every secondary defender Canyon View had. Stops the run and lets Canyon View into the locker room with a 28-6 halftime lead.
It's halftime here on 95.3 The Peak where the Dinos play. It is 28-6 Carbon trailing Canyon View. When we come back, the Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Kelly, owner of Castle Valley Orthodontics. What's keeping you from having a perfect smile? We understand what you want from a local orthodontist. And here at Castle Valley Orthodontics, you'll be treated like family. Call Castle Valley Orthodontics at 637-2222 for a free consultation.
I was hoping to talk to someone about updating my insurance policy.
I am able to understand complete sentences.
That was a complete sentence?
I didn't understand that.
Or can I just talk to a person?
No one talks to humans anymore.
Sometimes humans are just more helpful.
I hear you. Why don't we review your coverage with a super check?
Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau agent Jill Jensen in Price today.
Discover the strength and beauty of Flawless Sheeting's metal siding and roofing solutions. Designed to endure and crafted to conserve energy, the products offered by Flawless Sheeting ensure your home not only looks good, but feels good too. Plus, they come with a 40-year warranty. Enjoy superior durability and enhanced comfort year-round with new roofing from Flawless Sheeting. Ready to upgrade? Call Flawless Sheeting at 636-7300 and elevate the way you live.
You see your friends with their new travel trailers, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. They're living the dream, right? Well, it doesn't just have to be a dream. You can start living that same dream life today by starting your new career with GMS Mine Repair and Maintenance. GMS is hiring mechanics, electricians, fabricators, experienced and inexperienced miners. They offer high starting wages, benefits, a 401k, and vacation pay. Local jobs are available. Apply today. Email your resume to kbarker@gmsminerepair.com. The dream can be yours with GMS Mine Repair.
We're not going out on a limb when we say,
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen. Fantastic food, fun atmosphere. Known for their made-from-scratch pizzas, Juniper has the very best pastas, burgers, salads, wraps, hoagies, paninis, appetizers, loaded sodas, desserts, vegan and vegetarian options. Dine in for lunch or dinner, Tuesday through Friday, 11 till 8. Saturdays, noon till 8. Order online at juniperkitchenutah.com with DoorDash delivery. Stop beating around the bush for a great meal.
I want to go to Juniper.
Juniper Kitchen and Price.
You're looking for somewhere you could be proud to work. Komatsu is looking for you. Komatsu is a leading manufacturer of construction, mining, forestry, and industrial heavy equipment. Komatsu currently has openings for seasoned welders, journeyman electricians, and MSHA certified electricians, as well as master machinists. At Komatsu, not only will your skills be rewarded with competitive wages, but you'll also enjoy benefits like a robust 401k plan. Grow with Komatsu. Go to komatsu.com or call Tanner at 636-6150.
The more things change,
the more they stay the same.
yes, Mr. Automotive has a new building in Huntington.
But that just means the services they offer just got better.
Detailing and mechanic work are being added to the already great service Mr. Automotive had already offered.
And all deals are still done with the owner at the lowest prices possible.
New building, same best prices, and more auto services. Go to MrAutomotiveSales.com or stop by the dealership, 21 South Main, Huntington. Mr. Automotive, the best for less.
Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Kelly, owner of Castle Valley Orthodontics. What's keeping you from having a perfect smile? We understand what you want from a local orthodontist. And here at Castle Valley Orthodontics, you'll be treated like family. Call Castle Valley Orthodontics at 637-2222 for a free consultation.
Welcome to the Carbon Dinos Halftime Report, brought to you by Castle Valley Orthodontics. Call 637-2222 and schedule your free consultation for a smile that will last a lifetime.
Welcome back to Carbon High School, Carbon Dino football. It's halftime, 28-6 the score. The Dinos trailing Canyon View and Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show. Aiden, 28-6. The big kick return for the Carbon Dinos by Nichols. Thought maybe it was going to change the momentum, but once again, the Canyon View offense got the ball back, and they just went right down the field. This offense that Canyon View has is impressive.
That it is, Sonny. They can run the ball at ease. You look at the running stats. Miller, 55 yards. Floyd, 55 yards. Sheridan, 23 rushing yards. It's a powerful trio on the ground that has really done a lot of damage. Doing most of it, though, has been Miller. 2 rushing touchdowns, adding 2 through the air. 97 passing yards for the senior quarterback. He has been lights out tonight, Sonny. Running, throwing. The only thing he hasn't done tonight has been kicking.
Carbon Dino football, 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. We also on KSUB Cedar City, 107.3 FM and 590 AM. Also, you can watch the Dinos as well. Tell people how to go about doing that.
Yeah, you can go on to YouTube and look up Castle Country Radio Carbon, or just visit the KSL Sports app. You're going to be able to stream the Dinos there. So many ways to watch the Dinos, Sonny, as we go into this halftime report for our Cedar City friends. This is the Halftime Smile Report with Dr. Ryan Gunn and All About Smiles Dentistry. You got to love how halftime shows seem to always kind of follow that dental theme. Lots of great dentists out there. Shout out to dentists.
It's halftime. 28-6. So far, as we said, Canyon View's offense doing their job tonight here in Price. And let's take a look at the scoring in the first quarter. Canyon View, 2-yard run by Miller with 8:37 left in the first quarter. Extra point good by Canyon View, and it was 7-0 after the Beckstorm extra point. 7-0.
Yeah, and that was 7 straight run plays for the Falcons on that one, ending with Floyd having 42 yards but not getting the touchdown, as it was Miller runs 8 yards into the end zone on a quarterback keeper.
Then we have a 35-yard touchdown, Miller to Floyd, with 59 seconds left to play in the first quarter, and then the extra point good once again for Canyon View to make it 14-0 as Beckstorm hitting those extra points.
Yeah, they had 3 drives in that first quarter that they were able to go on. One resulted in an interception, the other 2 going for a touchdown. You'll take that ratio if you're a head coach.
Then in the second quarter, the 5-yard run by Miller with 9:01 left to play. And once again, Beckstorm with the extra point made it 21-0.
Yeah, and he just continues to climb. They continue to find a lot of success in the kicking game.
After that touchdown, a kick return by the Dinos. Nichols with the 90-yard kick return with 8:47 left to play in the second quarter. Extra point by Chile was no good after the penalty moved the the extra point back. They missed the extra point, making it 21-6.
And Jordan Nichols weaves, winds, finds his way to the end zone for a second straight week. He is an electric kick returner and a true asset to the Dinos.
Then with 4:31 left to play in the second quarter, Miller with the pass to Greenland. 25-yard extra point by Beckstorm good, 28-6, and that's where we sit here at the half.
And both teams have had opportunities that they have squandered. We've seen a few fourth downs conversions fail. We've seen a few turnovers from both sides, but overall, Sonny, it has been Canyon View through and through who has controlled the pace of this game.
Unofficial stats, turnover-wise, Carbon with 1 and Canyon View with 1. The Dinos got that interception. They got the ball down on the 29-yard line of Canyon View, but couldn't come up with anything. They got put in I believe it was a third down situation, forced to throw, and Dunn got hit as he threw the ball intercepted, and he took a shot.
He did. No, and the thing was, it was a perfectly legal shot
well.
It wasn't anything dirty. He was hit as he was making contact. Ball falls right into Canyon View's hands, and they're able to return it, get the ball back. They capitalize on that opportunity. Now, Sonny, if you're the Dinos, you want to clean up those turnovers. Not as many as you saw against Ogden last week. You saw 3 interceptions there. But this time things have been a lot cleaner. Carbon hasn't been taking as many deep shots as they did against the Tigers, and that's what you want to see. You want to see them try and weave and wind their way down the field methodically. You want to see those short 3 to 4 yard passes, see what you can get after the catch. You don't need to be a hero. You don't need to try and sling it downfield each and every play, and they haven't done that. I think that's why this game hasn't gotten out of hand.
So we got 1-1 on the turnovers, 1 for each team. Now, first downs, this shows you that Canyon View running the football. They have 9 first downs in the first half, Carbon 1.
Yeah, and they've really dominated that statistical category. They just do a good job in getting initial contact by the offensive line, driving the defensive line back a good 5 yards, and by the time you can even get your footing held, you're going to be driven back, and you're going to be in the secondary, and they're going to be rushing for 5-10 yards. Not very many runs this half, Sonny, went for less than 5 yards.
On the penalty situation, Canyon View has 3 for 20, which I'm sure you got to be pleased with 3 penalties in the first half for Canyon View. The Dinos have 2 for 10, but the one penalty was on the extra point that moved them back, and then they missed the extra point. But only 2 penalties for the Dinos for 10 yards, 3 for Canyon View for 20 yards. So both coaches really have to be pleased with the discipline on the penalty side.
Again, what really impresses me most between these two squads, Sonny, has been their ability on third down and fourth down situations to not jump. That has been paramount for these teams. I mean, they're not jumping, they're staying calm, they're not leaping off sides, and that makes all the difference in the world. It shows a very disciplined defensive line and offensive line unit, and if you're a coach, like you said, you're going to be very pleased with how this has been turning out.
Scoring by quarters, 14-0 Canyon View in the first quarter. Canyon View outscoring the Dinos 14-6 in the second. We sit 28-6 here at the half. That's some team stats. Aiden, I think you have some individual stats we can look at as well.
Looking at individual stats, leading the way for the Dinos in the rushing attack is Dexter Packard. 4 rushing attempts for 22 yards, averaging at about 5.5 yards per run. A very admirable effort by the junior. They just haven't been able to get the ball to him as much. Again, only 4 rushing attempts. Caden Dunn goes into the halftime break with 42 passing yards on the game. His favorite receiver so far today has been Packard. He's leading that category as well, a 22-yard screen pass. In terms of who's received the ball most, though, it has been Maddox Wilson. A gain of 5-4-3, and then a loss of 3 sets him up at 9 receiving yards at the halftime break. What's really impressed me between these two teams, Sonny, has been the offensive line play. Not very many sacks to boast about for either of these two squads. Looking over now at the visiting Canyon View Falcons, quarterback Miller, 97 passing yards to go along with 2 touchdowns. He on the ground. He adds 55 more. He took a 15-yard loss on a snap over his head. Before that, he was up to 70. 2 touchdowns on the ground as well for Floyd. 11 rushing attempts for 55 yards. Sheridan adds on 23 yards through 5 rushing attempts. That's kind of where things are sitting in terms of individual stats for these two teams.
And Aiden's got scores from around the state of Utah. He's got them in all classifications. So let's look at some scores tonight for Utah high school football from around the state.
Well, today's most highly anticipated matchup has been between Beaver and Duchesne, a clash of 1A powers, right now tied at 17 apiece. Over in our sister station, KOAL 107.3 FM and 750 AM. Emory up at the halftime, 21-6. Kanab continues to pour it on over Millard, up 48-7 there at the halftime break. South Sevier up 41-0 over Providence Hall. Enterprise up 12-0 over North Sevier. North Sevier had the big season opening win against Grant. Since then, haven't been able to find much success. And we talked about earlier in the game, Sonny, a matchup between Manti and Juab. Had Juab leading early on, 12-7. Well, Manti has responded in kind and then some, up 28-12 now over the Wasps.
So that's some scores from around the state. Don't forget, we have football tomorrow on KOAL. Utah versus Cal Poly. 4 p.m. kickoff. That'll be on KOAL 107.3 FM, 750 AM. Tune in early for the pregame show. It's a great pregame show, by the way, as well.
That it is, Sonny. Lots of entertainment, lots of great stats to be had as well.
And then on Sunday, the Raiders play the Patriots. 11 a.m. kickoff, same situation. 11 a.m. kickoff, tune in early for the pregame show. That's a great pregame show as well. Also, something to listen to for sports on our sister station, KOAL, is Drive Time Sports. Monday through Friday from 4 to 5, Drive Time Sports with Jordan Busker, and he keeps you updated on all the local sports as well as national sports. It's a great show. Tune in and you'll love it.
Yes, you will, Sonny. It's always a good time when Jordan gets into the studio. But here, we're only about a minute away from the start of the second half. Dinos will be receiving the second half kick following their deferment at the beginning of the contest. Lots of fun to be had here at Dino Field.
We'll take a break. When we come back, more of the Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show. It's 28-6, Canyon View with the lead when we come back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel Kelly, owner of Castle Valley Orthodontics. What's keeping you from having a perfect smile? We understand what you want from a local orthodontist. And here at Castle Valley Orthodontics, you'll be treated like family. Call Castle Valley Orthodontics at 637-2222 for a free consultation.
Imagine a smooth, hassle-free journey to the front door of your new home with the Driggs Mortgage Team guiding you every step of the way. Hi, this is Greg Driggs. Our seasoned experts understand the ins and outs of home financing and refinancing. Come visit us at our new permanent address, 8 East Main in Price, where we plan to be a staple for years to come. Start your journey today. Call 801-427-3577. The Driggs Mortgage Team, NMLS number 272076, Equal Housing Opportunity. Driggs Mortgage Team is a DBA of Premier Mortgage Resources, LLC, NMLS 1169.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back to Castle Valley Orthodontics halftime show. 28-6, Canyon View with the lead. The Dinos get the ball to start the second half. They will go left to right on your radio dial, and it's time for second half action. And, you know, we say this a lot, but this is a huge possession for the Dinos. They got to get back in this ball game, trailing 28-6.
Now, if you can capitalize on this scoring opportunity, Sonny, and maybe answer back with another one of those exciting kick return touchdowns that Jordan Nichols is oh so good at. Maybe you march down the field and grind it out, but a score here would prove very beneficial for the Dinos. You need to halt the momentum of Canyon View. They've had that going in full force throughout the game. And keep in mind, Sonny, 2 scores away from the mercy rule going into effect is Canyon View. So the Dinos, if they can answer here, can halt that sentence just a little bit longer and hopefully claw back into the game.
So we got Jordan Nichols back on the far side to receive the kick, the senior and the freshman, number 25, Dawson Johnson, on the near side for the Dinos to return the kick. Kicking the ball away will be Jackson Beckstorm. And we're ready for the start of the second half between Canyon View and our Carbon Dinos here on 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play KSUB, Cedar City.
Yeah,
ready to go here.
All over the state. And what I've liked about Beckstrom so far is he has a very powerful leg. He's able to put it into the back of the end zone pretty consistently, resulting in touchbacks. The one time he didn't, though, Dinos were able to capitalize on that opportunity and then some. So Beckstrom, Beckstrom, probably going to try and kick away from Nichols here.
Referee says, let's go, and we are underway. Line drive kick bounces at the 20-yard line, picked up there to the 25 to the up man to the 27-yard line. The Dinos will start there. Chance Wood, the ball carrier for the Carbon Dinos. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Dinos. They will start there. Their first offensive possession of the second half, trailing 28-6. Now, what would you like to see the Dinos do on the offensive side? Packard had a little bit of success going to the outside.
Yeah, I'd like to see him turn a little bit to Packard. I'd also like to see him keep that offensive attack a little balanced. That's been their biggest strength this season, is that they can keep defenses on their heels and guessing whether they're running, whether they're passing, whether they're doing a trick play. They have a lot of tools in their arsenal, and it's best not to rely on just one.
Yeah, nobody's in a panic yet. Plenty of time. But this is a huge possession for the Dinos. 2 receivers go to the far side. Quarterback keeper across the 30. Taking it to the right side, 35-yard line, close to the chains, depending on where they mark it. It's going to be a little bit short. Pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Good way to start the second half for the Dinos.
And taking a play out of Canyon View's playbook, a designed quarterback run on that 4 Dunn. Not something we've seen very much this season, but when it works, it works. Great legs on Dunn to pick up 8 yards.
2nd down, 2. Very important. The Dinos get positive yardage on 1st down. When I mean by positive, at least 3 or 4 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, no, you'll be okay if you get a 1 or 2 yard pickup, but you'd prefer that 4 or 5 yard range as long as you're not losing. That's the big thing.
Shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the near side, 2nd down, 2. Handoff goes up the middle. I believe it's Packard. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be it. A host of Falcon defenders to make the stop. It'll be 3rd down.
And met immediately at the line by the interior defensive lineman Hudson Springer, making contact with Packard, bringing him down before he can get anything going. A 3rd and short situation for the Dinos. Very manageable one, but with a Canyon View defense that has been relentless throughout the game, going to be a battle.
Down 28-6, 10 minutes left to play in the 3rd, possibly 2-down territory.
Yeah, you got to think that you got to find something, get something going if you are Carbon.
Man in motion. Fake to the man in motion. Dunn's going to keep it himself. Turns it inside between the hash marks. Fights his way close to the 1st down marker. I think he got it.
Looks like the official is going to spot him just 1 yard ahead of those chains. A nice 4-yard gain for Caden brings him to 12 rushing yards on the game through 4 carries, and a great designed quarterback run for Carbon. They pick up a 1st down. That's what they needed to do. Find some footing, get the 1st down, and get the drive underway.
Good blocking by the offensive line, but a great effort by Dunn to fight his way to move the chains to get that 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Dinos. Ball sits on the 39. Of Carbon with 10 minutes exactly left to play here in the 3rd quarter, down 28-6. Shotgun formation, nobody in the backfield but Dunn. 2 receivers, 1 goes in motion, it's Wilson, the tight end. He'll get the ball in that little jet sweep. Tries to get to the outside, can't, fights his way maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1. It looks like it'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Dinos. Good pursuit that time by Canyon View's defense. 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders in on the stop once again.
And the big problem along the left side, Sonny, is Andy Kiefer has taken on a tall task of trying to throw a hook block on Colt Rushton. That's where you have to get that outside hand on the outside shoulder and try and force him in. But as a defensive player, you have some advantage in you. You have some leverage. You can shoot to the outside. If you can beat that initial hook, they're going to have to try and force you out of bounds, delay that run to the sideline just a little bit longer. And in that case, it sets the Dinos back about 4 yards.
Yep. Actually, loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Ball sits on the far hash mark. They go left to right. 2 receivers to the near side. Quick pitch comes to Packard around the right side. Finds a little bit of running room. Nice spin move. It gets up to the 45-yard lines where they're going to mark it just shy, making it 3rd down and a reasonable 3rd down for the Dinos, a 3rd and about 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, much more reasonable than they were facing on the 2nd and 12 play. 3rd and 5. You saw them work with this before. Dunn was able to get it on the designed run. This time they're going to have to pull out a little more trickery or maybe keep it simple to throw the Falcons off.
3rd down, call it 5 yards to go for the Dinos. Dunn goes under center. 2 running backs. Fake, rolls left. Wants to throws that little screen pass to Wilson, incomplete. He was covered. Dunn did good to just throw that ball away and don't take any chances of an interception. 4th down and 5.
Yeah, you're facing a lot of pressure from Brock Neighbors alongside Malik Rigby. Nowhere you could really go on that one. Definitely good. It went towards the ground.
Yeah. Give yourself a chance on 4th down. 4th down, 5 for the Dinos, 8:21. Left to play third quarter, 28-6.
And a rare clock stoppage in this game, Sonny. Both teams have been very run heavy. We see that clock tick down very consistently.
Huge play for the Dinos, 4th and 5. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers both sides. Packard in the backfield, stands to the right side of Dunn. It's a quick kick, and it's a good one. Hits at the 15-yard line, rolls down to the 10 of the 5, and they'll down it on the 1-yard line. What a pooch kick by the Carbon Dinos. It'll be 1st and 10 for Canyon View. They got 99 yards to go. Now, this is a huge defensive possession set for the Dinos. Now they got a chance, possibly get a safety or get the ball back in great field position.
Yeah.
Got it. They got to hold them down here, down this deep.
Well, they got to find a way to stop the run, Sonny, and so far through this game, it has been a rarity to see that. But if there's a time to figure it out, it is now. 8:12 left, 28-6 deficit for the Dinos, 99 yards to go for the Falcons.
Well, they switched field position on that play. Now the Dinos need to take advantage of the field position. 1st down and 10 for Canyon View. The ball sitting on their own 2-yard lines where they mark it. Just a quick quarterback sneak to give them some breathing room. Picks up about 4 yards on that quarterback sneak, maybe even 5.
And, you know, it's a play that is hard to guard, and you don't see it very often. With that little tush push, able to move him forward 4 yards. Miller flirting with 60 yards again in the rushing category.
Pick up a 4, 2nd and 6. They give him some breathing room on that quarterback sneak.
Yeah, now you open up the playbook just a little bit. Probably not going to go for anything too deep. No draws, no deep drop back passes. They're going to keep the 2 running backs set.
Good push on the offensive line for Canyon View on that 1st down play. 2nd down shotgun. Miller's going to keep it, pitches it outside. It goes to Floyd, to the 10, to the 15-yard line. Flag comes in late. 2 flags come in, so we'll see what the flag is. It's a 1st down, but we'll see what the call is.
That was a very well executed triple option.
Very nice.
By Canyon View. It was a good read initially by Miller to keep it, and then he makes the nice pitch out to Floyd to continue the run, to keep the run alive. If it is to stand, they're going to be able to keep it at about a 5 to 6 yard gain.
This is a spot foul. That flag, yeah, he's picking up and putting it where it should be. He couldn't get the flag to where the foul occurred, so he's going to drop the flag down on about the 9-yard line. So we'll see. Still waiting to see what the penalty is.
Yeah, no official.
Block in the back, I believe.
Yep, block in the
block
back.
in the back. At the 10-yard line is where the foul occurred. That'll be half the distance to the goal, so they'll move it to the 5.
A lucky break there for the Dinos. What was going to be a 1st down now pushes Canyon View back just a little bit further.
Remains 2nd down, 6 now with the penalty. Wind the clock with 7:21 and running. Shotgun formation for Miller. Fakes the Sheridan, keeps it himself. Has running room across the 10, 15, 20. Here comes a flag into where usually it's holding, but we'll have to see. As Miller gets all the way up to the 30-yard line, that'll be enough for a 1st down easily, but there's 2 more flags on the field, so we'll see what the flags are once again.
Would have been a 25-yard scamper if it is to hold, but Sonny, we talked about it in the halftime break. Both teams were going to be very pleased with the penalty situation. Now, not so much if you're Canyon View.
Well, the 2 flags are a long ways apart, so I think we're going to have 2 different fouls here, but we'll see.
We could see that, or maybe, again, it's one of those situations where the ref's arm just wasn't strong enough to deliver the flag where it needed to be. Still waiting on a signal from the official, but they're moving the ball back to Canyon View. Looks like it will still be enough for a 1st down, but if it's a spot foul, they're going to be walking.
No,
they back.
They haven't moved the ball yet on the foul. It's holding against Canyon View. The flag sits on the 15-yard line, so that's going to bring it back. It won't be a 1st down again on the penalty.
2 consecutive 1st downs for the Falcons called back due to penalty. Not a good look for the players on the field. Coach probably fuming on the sideline. You've had 2 plays that have worked, 2 plays that have been called back due to penalties which could have been avoided.
Ball sitting on the 5-yard line now, 2nd down. 7 yards to go. Handoff goes to Floyd, breaks some tackles, will get the first down and more across the 20. Still fighting forward. The whistle blows, and it'll be a first down at the 20-yard line for Canyon View and move the chains. Nice run.
A good run by Floyd, picking up about 15 yards on that one, brings his total to 70 on the day. And there were 2 or 3 times, Sonny, where I thought he was going to be brought down, but he bounces along like a pinball machine, and he's able to just keep moving forward. He doesn't stop turning his legs at any point during the run, and he's rewarded with a big first down for the Falcons and a whole lot of breathing room.
1st and 10 on the 20, 6:44 left to play. They had him pinned down inside the 2-yard line. Canyon View does what they need to do. They get the first down and they get out of trouble. So it's 1st and 10 on the 20 with a shotgun formation for the Falcons. 3 receivers go to the right side. They go right to left. There's a little pitch back. That's a live ball on the ground. Scramble for it, and Floyd got it back. There was a little backward pass that Floyd could not handle, but he falls on it, and it will be 2nd down. A loss on the play of about 6, 2nd and 16.
And, it's one of those plays where, Sonny, this drive has been filled with mistakes for Canyon View. Fumbles, penalties, they have been shooting themselves in the foot. But regardless, they still have found a way to keep the ball moving forward and that clock ticking. And that's the thing that's hurting the Dinos the most, is that these are all run plays. The clock continues to tick down.
They mark it on the 15, 2nd down, 15 yards to go. Shotgun once again for Miller. Miller hands the ball off to Sheridan around the left side, nothing doing. Nice defensive play coming up to make it. It's Maddox Wilson for a loss back to the 10-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long for Canyon View.
A loss of 5 on that one, Sonny. The Dinos defense has come alive as of late. They're continuing to hold the Falcons in place, giving them a lot of problems. 3rd and a country mile for the Falcons to try and overcome.
3rd down, 19 yards to go. Big play for the Dino defense. They'll get the ball back. If they can hold them here, they'll get the ball back in decent field position. So it's a big play.
Now, the thing is, we know Canyon View can sling the ball downfield. The Dinos going with a 2-high safety look. The typical shell coverage, they're bringing one down, 1 high now as they send one out to cover man-to-man.
Here's that backward throw again. He can throw it, and he will. Floyd throws it down the field. Is it intercepted?
It is.
It's intercepted by the Carbon Dinos at the 40-yard line. There's a flag on the play, so we'll see what the flag is.
Trace Crespin with the catch on that one, Sonny. Tracks the ball perfectly on the double pass. Typically, you see teams get really tripped up by that, but the Dinos stayed the course. They were able to recover very well. What's going to make the biggest difference here, Sonny, is that flag.
See what the flag is. The Dinos are walking back, and that's usually not a good sign. Well, let's see what it is. Holding. Defensive holding on the Dinos. The flag sits on the 25-yard line.
And we saw this impact the Dinos last game to their benefit. They got a defensive holding call on a thrown interception, gets the interception negated, gets them the first down. Canyon View looking to be on the lucky break this time. Depends on where they can spot the ball.
It's from the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 10 yards from the 11-yard line. It'll put it on the 21-yard line, make it 3rd down and 10.
So
for Canyon View.
A much easier down and distance for the Falcons to try and overcome, as well as no interception coming into effect.
Nice defensive play by the Dinos is nullified from the defensive hold. We have a timeout on the field with 4:51 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 28-6 the score in favor of Canyon View. We'll take the break with them. Dino football, 95-3 the Peak, where the Dinos play.
At Oliver Law, we specialize in criminal defense and DUI. Everyone needs to know their rights. Let us guide you through the criminal justice minefield. At Oliver Law, we still believe in innocent until proven guilty.
In the heart of Carbon and Emery counties, Quick Realty is here to help you make the right move. Experience the future of home buying with our Matterport 3D tours, giving you an immersive look at your potential home from anywhere. Meet our dedicated team of local professionals, just real people who care, walking you through every step of the way. As a Zillow Premier and Realtor.com specialist, Quick Realty is your trusted expert, handling everything from residential, commercial, and mountain properties to property management. Your dream home is just a call away. Let Quick Realty help you find it.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
Welcome back to Dino Football here on 95.3 The Peak and Castle Country Radio Carbon, as well as our partners down in Cedar City, KSUB 107.3 FM and 1590 AM. Canyon View up 28-6 over the Carbon Dinos now as the clock runs 4:50 and counting.
1st and 10 for the Dinos. Ball sits on the 21-yard line. There's the snap. Miller wants to throw. Throws, has Floyd, first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line, just enough to pick up the first down, but move the chains once again. They were behind the chains, and somehow Canyon View figures out a way to get the first down.
And he had all the time in the world on that one, Sonny, to make something happen, and he did just that. He doesn't do anything too fancy, doesn't try and lob the ball downfield, finds the safe option on the slant route in Floyd, able to move it forward just a little bit more.
Makes the catch, and then a lot of yardage after the catch. 1st down and 10, ball sits on the 30. 2 receivers, both sides, man in motion, comes towards us. Fake the handoff to him. The handoff goes to Sheridan up the middle, finds running room 40, 45-yard line, then brought down, but not before he picks up 15 yards and move the chains once again for the Falcons.
And Sheridan is a great utility back for the Falcons. He is able to come in, continue the pace of the game, dictate it how he wants, and he's able to get big gains like that as well. Canyon View has had times in this drive where it looks like the Dinos had them dead to rights, but they've bounced back every time through creative play calling, great execution, and some defensive breakdowns for the Dinos.
Sonny Buscarini, Aiden Mortensen bringing you the action. Dave Hokinson on the camera tonight for us. 3:43 running left to play in the third quarter. Canyon View moving the ball 1st and 10 on the 45. Shotgun formation by Miller. Fakes the handoff, gives it to Sheridan up the middle. Once again, more running room. He'll move the chains again into Dino territory across the 45 or the 44-yard line. Host of Dino defenders there on the stop, but not before a 12-yard pickup and move the chains once again for Canyon View. First down, number 12 on the night for the Falcons.
Back-to-back double-digit rushes for Sheridan. He's just grounding and pounding right now, Sonny. He's come in and he has had his way with the Dinos defense right now, just continuing to move the ball down the field very efficiently.
Chewing clock. It's down to 3:13 left to play in the third quarter. Shotgun once again for Miller. 2 receivers come to the near side. Ball sits on the far hash mark. 2 receivers on the far side. They go right to left. A high snap. Once again, we have a whistle. So it was a high snap.
And Miller thanking his lucky stars that
Yes.
that was whistled dead.
Yes.
About not one, not two. I'd say about half the Dinos defense was there on an all-out blitz, selling out to try and stop the run that had plagued them so far.
That was one of those times where you'll take that 5-yard penalty because that could have been a bad thing there with the high snap.
Given what could have been, you're thinking your lucky stars, it's a 5-yard penalty, but penalties have plagued Canyon View throughout this drive. The Dinos started this quarter with the ball. They were forced to punt, pin Canyon View on the 1-yard line with about 10 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Now down to 2:59. Canyon View just marching down the field, letting the clock wind down.
2 receivers, both to each side. There's the snap. Miller looks left, down the left sidelines, has a man open, makes the catch at the 20. It's a great catch by Caden Greenland. He has 1 touchdown on the day, and that's a beautiful throw and a beautiful catch over the shoulder. 1st and 10, down to the Carbon 15-yard line.
And a nice 40-yard dime coming there, courtesy of Miller. He's flirting with 150 passing yards on the day. Greenland getting the second catch of the day, up to 65 receiving yards, and the touchdown, like you mentioned. He's been a key receiver for Canyon View when they have had to go to the air.
This team likes to run the ball, but Aiden, they can throw the ball as well.
Yeah, and that is how you separate a good team from a great team. Good teams are good in 1 to 2 facets of the game. Great teams are excellent in a bulk.
After the big catch by Greenland, the ball sits on the Dinos' 16-yard line, 1st and 10. 2:17 and running left to play, third, 28-6. Canyon View with the lead, looking for more. Give it to Sheridan. No. Keeper by Miller after the fake. Comes to the left side. Not much there that time. Good defense by the Dinos coming up at Sorensen to make the stop. Pickup of maybe 2, maybe 3 on the play. Aiden, it'll be second down.
And the dreaded yellow piece of fabric has made its appearance on the field yet again. Based on how this drive has been going, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go against Canyon View every time they find themselves with a significant gain of some kind. With few exceptions, it has set them back to the drawing board and past the original line of scrimmage, and it will go against Canyon View.
The flag right in the heart of the play. It's holding against Canyon View, brings the ball back. It's a spot foul, so it'll bring it back to the 27-yard line.
Now, Sonny, I feel like we jinxed it at halftime talking about how disciplined these two teams had been. Both of them really not having any penalty trouble, but this drive alone, Canyon View just getting hammered by that yellow piece of fabric falling from the sky.
They have a 7 for 50 now. Dinos still with 2 penalties for 10 yards. Shotgun formation for Miller. 2 receivers, both sides. Sheridan sits to the left side. Man in motion's Floyd. Fake to Floyd. Give it to Sheridan. He finds running room once again. Across the 20. Down to the 15-yard line. Fighting forward. And then stopped there by 1, 2, 3, 4 Dino defenders. But not before he gets that 10-yard penalty back. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Now, Sonny, that's been the theme throughout this game. Canyon View finds themselves in situations where most teams would start solely relying on the pass. Not them. They just continue to stick to their bread and butter, run the ball, and that time rewarded with a 12-yard pickup courtesy of Sheridan. His last 3 rushes have gone for double digits.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. They get that penalty back. 2 receivers, both sides in the red zone once again for Canyon View. Miller wants to throw. Out in the right flat, incomplete, intended for Floyd. Floyd was there. He just kind of missed him on that play. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, led him just a little too far, unable to get his hands out and grasp that ball down as it goes soaring harmlessly to the ground. 3rd down situation now, 3rd and 10 for the Falcons, but one we've seen them convert on time and time again. And you got to look at the clock, Sonny. They have wound down almost successfully 10 minutes of game time on a single drive.
That last throw by Miller could not have been intercepted, so he threw it in a place where only his receiver could get to it. Once again, rolls to his right, throws. Caught down on the sidelines. Did he make the catch? Waiting for a signal.
They're going to give it to him.
Yes, they're going to give it to him down inside the 10-yard line. That will be enough for a 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal for Canyon View.
And Floyd coming up with the clutch catch of 12 yards on the play. The favorite receiver of the day of Miller. He has 79 receiving yards in the contest.
This has been a long drive. It's down to 49 seconds, but the reason why is they've had penalties, but they've been able, behind the chains, they've been able to overcome it and get the 1st down. They do it again.
And just continuing to run the ball down the field, Sonny.
1st and goal. Ball sits on the 6-yard line. Handoff. Little jet sweep coming to the left side to Floyd, and he will score from 8 yards out. 6 yards out, Floyd to make it 34-6.
And Floyd finally earning his first touchdown of the day. Leads the team in rushing yards and carries up to 14 on the day. Had a few touchdowns stolen away from him due to play calling, but this time finally able to punch it in to the end zone. Sets Canyon View up with a 34-6 advantage.
Beckstorm on to attempt the extra point. Snap in the set. Kick is up. The kick is good. It's 35-6. Canyon View with the lead with 44 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break. When we come back, Dino football here on 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
At San Rafael Health, they believe everyone deserves compassionate and dedicated care. Whether you're looking for a place for mom, dad, or any loved one, the doors are open. San Rafael Health accepts private pay, Medicaid, Medicare, and commercial insurance, ensuring quality healthcare is accessible for all. Let the family at San Rafael Health take care of your family. Call today at 384-2301 and let San Rafael Health provide the care your loved ones deserve.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
Welcome back. 44 seconds left to play here in the 3rd quarter. 35-6. Canyon View with the lead. And Aiden Beckstorm continues to just hit every extra point. This Canyon View team is solid everywhere.
No,
they're solid on offense. They're solid on defense. They have a good kicking game. This is a good football team.
That they are, Sonny. They have been electric from start to finish. The only answer the Dinos have been able to find has been in the special teams department on the 90-yard kick return by Jordan Nichols in the 2nd quarter.
Short kick, bounces around on the 20-yard line, picked up there, 25-30. Something going for the Dinos, 35-40, 45. And Packard gets up across the 45 or the 47-yard line and a first down for the Dinos, and they will get good field position with 38 seconds left in the third quarter.
Well, you can tell that they're trying to place the ball as far away as they can from Nichols, but at the same time, you got a lot of weapons on the special teams unit. Packard able to pick it up for a nice return for Carbon.
The kick returns for the Dinos this year has been very good.
That's been a real shining spot for them. They're doing an excellent job in that department. Lots of kick return touchdowns to be had throughout the year, Sonny.
Nobody in the backfield. 3 receivers to the left side, 2 to the right side. Fake the handoff to Wilson. It's done. He's going to keep it himself. He finds running room. Still on his feet across the 35, down to the 30-yard line, and what an effort. Pick up on the play of over 20 yards. Let's make it 22. Move the chains in a first down by Dunn.
I'm glad I have you to do my math, Sonny. I wasn't going to be able to guess on that, but that was a beautiful designed run by Dunn. Keeps it on the option, and he races downfield, throws a stiff arm, knocks one defender to the ground en route to that 22-yard pickup. Gotta love what you see from Dunn in the second half, especially when he's using his legs. They're taking a note out of Canyon View's playbook, and it's working for him. You can see why Canyon View is turning to that with an athletic quarterback.
First down for the Dinos after the nice run by quarterback Caden Dunn. And that's going to end the third quarter. We've played 3 here at Carbon High School. It's 35-6. Canyon View with the lead over the Carbon Dinos. You are listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. Also listening to KSUB, Cedar City, 107.3 FM and 590 AM. Right here, it's Carbon Dino football as we go to the fourth quarter, Aiden, and the Dinos down 35-6, but they got something going here.
That they do. That nice 22-yard run by Dunn has set them up with a lot of success offensively to start off this drive. They're going to want to capitalize on that still. If they can find themselves a little more success and potentially the back of the end zone again, Sonny, they have a chance to start whittling back into this game. But the more time you take, the harder it's going to be, because this Canyon View team knows how to run that clock down, mercy rule or no. They're going to let that clock continue to tick down, and they took up 10 minutes on that last drive.
Well, we said, when it was 28-6 and the Dinos had the ball, there's no reason to panic. Well, now you don't have to panic, but you really got to pick up the tempo. You're down 35-6. Only one score in the third quarter, and that was the Floyd 6-yard run. But like you said, they had a lot of penalties on that drive. They had a lot of first, second, third downs and 10, 15, 20 yards. They overcame it and went right down the field. They scored, took a lot of time off the clock. That was really a perfect drive for Canyon View. Take away the penalties. That's exactly what they wanted to do, and they did it.
And they were able to waste that time very significantly. 99 yards down the field they had to travel, and they managed to pull it off, and it looked like that drive was going to stall out early for them, but they stayed resilient, and they were able to just continue to work their way downfield.
First down and 10 for the Dinos. 2 receivers both sides. Man in motion comes towards us. A little reverse goes to Packard, and he'll pick up 4 yards. Nice little play by the Dinos. Quick little reverse play to pick up 4 yards, and we said that's what the Dinos need to do on first down. They need to get 4 yards, need to get positive yardage on first down. That's a good play. Second down and manageable now, 2nd and 6.
And if you're going to run that reverse, you have to run it very quickly, especially when the defense has started keying on it, as they have as of late. Great quick reverse. Packard able to pick up a nice gain of 4.
Hudson Springer on the stop, the senior for Canyon View, but it's 2nd down and 6 for the Dinos. Shotgun formation once again. Ball sits on the far hash mark. Dinos go right to left on your dial. Dunn wants to throw. Drops back in the pocket. Has time. Throws over the middle. Ball bounces around, and it's intercepted. Attended in the middle of the field for the Dinos, a dangerous place, and back the other way comes Canyon View across the 50 to the 45-yard line. It's Ben Vest with the interception. You throw the ball in the middle of the field and it gets tipped up in the air. It's never really a good thing for the offense, because there's going to be more defensive players there to make the play, and that's exactly what happened.
No, and that thing was tipped up twice in a row, Sonny, before Vest was able to snag it and return it to the 40-yard line. It feels like when interceptions come for Carbon into the red zone, that's when it feels like things get a little strange, because normally you'd see a quick interception, maybe a quick tackle at the 5-10 yard line, but it feels like when it happens, the ball gets tipped up a few times and the other team can set themselves up with like a 40-yard interception return.
I like the play call, though. The Dinos had to get something going. They have to score here, down 35-6.
They do, and it wasn't an overexertion. It was just a wrong place, wrong time.
Yep. Handoff goes up the middle for Canyon View. No gain on the play. It might be a loss of a yard, and it will be. Nice defensive play by the Dinos.
And
second down and 11.
They'll set them up 2nd and 11, like you said. Just no ability to get past the line of scrimmage on that one. Dinos defense does a good job making the stand.
Tackle made by Simmons, I believe, for the Dinos. Second down, we'll call it 11. Shotgun formation, trips to the right side. They go left to right, whistle. Kills the play, and we'll see what the penalty is.
And back, Cade Haymore, the senior, checking into the game for the first time. He was the recipient of that first snap, and a procedure penalty against Canyon View sets them back a little further. Now we've seen them bounce back very efficiently from these deep down and distance situations.
Second down, 16 yards to go. The ball sitting on the 47-yard line of Canyon View. 35-6 the score. Region play beginning tonight. It's already game number 4. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy to think. And region play starting already. Normally you don't see that till game number 5 or 6, but with a big region, it's all the Dinos have in terms of option.
Down the left side, here's a deep ball, incomplete, intended for Greenland. He has one big catch and one touchdown catch on the evening, just a little bit out of his reach. Good coverage that time by the Dinos.
Yeah, Crespin sticking on him like stink on a skunk. Unable to gain any separation on that one was Greenland. Great defensive stand, and a third and a country mile for Canyon View. Now, Sonny, normally I'd feel very confident going into one of these plays, but with how effective Canyon View has been in these deep situations, it's a little worrisome.
Ball sits in the middle of the field. Trips come to the near side. Single receiver to the far side. There's the snap. Miller rolls right. Throws back. The little screen pass incomplete. The pass was intended. It was there.
It was intended.
Just wasn't executed. It was intended for Cade Haymore, the senior running back, and it falls to the ground incomplete. 4th down.
Yeah, and this is a situation where wisely you're probably going to punt it, and it looks like that is who is coming in for Canyon View, going to break out that special teams unit. Back to kick for Canyon View, wearing a beautiful number 28, Jackson Beckstrom. Not only can he kick field goals and place kick, he can punt as well. Talk about a do-it-all player in the special teams department.
Jordan Nichols back to receive the punt for the Dinos. He stands on the 12-yard line. 10 minutes exactly left to play in the ball game. 35-6, Canyon View with the lead. They're punting the ball away to the Dinos. There's the snap. It's a good snap and a good kick. Hits at the 25-yard line. Bounces... rolls dead on the 22, and that's where the Dinos will start 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line with 9:50 left to play, trailing 35-6 here at home. Now, the Dinos, we'll take a look at the Dinos schedule coming up. Doesn't get any easier for the Dinos. As you said, our region is tough. It always is. But take a look at the schedule next week. We will be at Richfield.
Yep. At Richfield, at Jewett, a little road warrior action for the Dinos. Return home against North St. Pete for homecoming. Then they take on the Delta Rabbits and the Manti Templars. Delta, a non-region matchup between these two squads and being held down in Delta.
Shotgun formation for Dunn. He'll keep it himself. Finds a little bit of running room. Picks up maybe a yard or two.
And the defense starting to key on that run by Dunn. Unable to pick up anything, but doesn't lose anything in the process as well.
2nd down.
Wyatt Kopp making initial contact on that play.
Nice play by Kopp to run down Dunn. So 9:19 left to play. 2nd down. They give him no gain on that, so it'll be 2nd and 10, the shotgun. Trips go to the far side. Dinos go right to left. Nobody on the near side. One running back stands to the right. Done with the quick throw out to the right side. It's caught. And no gain. Nice defense by Canyon View. They read that play perfectly. Nice pitch and catch, but nowhere to go after the catch.
Yeah, Finch receives it for about a 1-yard gain on the play. His 2nd reception of the game, but not much doing after contact. Jet screens just haven't been as successful for teams across the state as they were last season. Teams have figured them out, and they just haven't been able to have the same degree of success as we used to see.
Preston Higgins, the freshman, on the stop. Nice play out there for the freshman. 3rd down, 9 minutes left to play. Shotgun once again for Dunn, wants to throw. Deep drop this time. Throws that little screen pass to, is it Wilson, I believe? I'm not sure. We'll see who it is.
It was Wilson.
It is Wilson.
Reception.
Back to the 25-yard line and a pickup of 1. It's going to be 4th down and 7.
Well, Wilson, by far the favorite receiver today for Dunn. 6 receptions on the game. That time, only able to pick up 1. A lot of running behind the line of scrimmage, but you expect that on a screenplay. Canyon View just does a good job in choosing pursuit angles and hunting the Dinos down.
Dinos will punt the ball away on the 4th down. Ball's blocked. Bounces around. Fell on by Canyon View at the 26-yard line, and that's... Well, they get 2 yards off that punt after it's blocked, and it'll be Canyon View ball 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. So Canyon View in business once again.
Rigby diving on that ball. A wise move not to try and pick it up and score with it. If that had been the case, with it being a block punt and the Dinos were able to recover, they could have gained themselves a 1st down in a very roundabout way. But a wise move, again, diving on it by Rigby, sets Canyon View up within their own 30-yard line.
1st down and 10, 2 receivers, both sides. Shotgun formation. Ball sits right in the middle of the hash marks. Miller with the snap. Keeps it himself after the fake to Floyd. Has running room to the 20. 15 to the 10. Down inside the 10. Fights his way to the 8-yard line. Move the chains. And a 1st down. Nichols comes up to make the stop for the Dinos, but not before a big play and moving the chains once again for Canyon View. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. Mark it at the 9. With 8 minutes left to play in a 35-6 Falcon lead.
A pickup of about 22 on that one, Sonny. And a thing to keep in mind, if they are to score here and convert, or no, they don't even need to convert on the extra point, they will be in a mercy rule. The Downs would have to get back within 2 scores over the next 7.5 minutes to halt the clock yet again. Well, that's a tall task, especially when Canyon View does as well as they do in prolonging drives.
Shotgun formation, split each side. They give the ball right up the middle between the hash marks to Floyd, and he takes it into the end zone from 9 yards out for the touchdown. It makes it 42-6. 41-6, excuse me.
His 2nd touchdown of the day, Sonny. Back-to-back touches he's had have resulted in touchdowns. 80 yards on the day for him as well, as they have decreased their advantage to 41-16. Now, special teams have proven the difference maker across the state today, Sonny, and that was the case for defending state champion Beaver, falling to Duchesne 24-23 down in Beaver.
7:34 left to play here, 41-6. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, kick is good. 7:34 left to play in the ball game. It's Canyon View 42 and the Carbon Dinos 6. We'll take a break. When we come back, Dinos get the ball here on 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Transform your space with Spectrum Paint, featuring PPG paint, the ideal choice for any home project. Imagine a kaleidoscope of colors at your fingertips, from soothing pastels to vibrant primaries. Whether revamping a room or adding character to your exteriors, Spectrum Paint makes every brush stroke count. Dive into a spectrum where quality meets creativity and paint your world with us. Visit Spectrum Paint to find the perfect shade for your home today.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on The Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back, Carbon Dino Football. The Dinos will get the kick here after the touchdown by Canyon View to make it 42-6 with 7:09, and the clock will run now. We'll have some scores after this play for you from around the state. There's the kick. Bounces on the 20-yard line, picked up by the Dinos at the 15, 20, 25, 30. 34-yard line and out across the 35 or the 37. And a 1st and 10 for the Dinos. Packard with the return for The Carbon Dinos, they'll start from their first down, and you got some scores from around the state, Aiden.
That I do, Sonny. Taking a look first down in Beaver. Again, Duchesne coming away with a 24-23 victory over the 1A defending state champions. That's a big win regardless of the classification, especially when you're going against in a bit of a rivalry matchup like that.
Sound like a great game.
In 3A ball, Cedar City defeats Logan 56-16. South Summit up 49-0 over Ben Lomond. Morgan in a close call against Bountiful. And Uinta narrowly edging out Union right now 15-14.
There's the snap. Dinos with the football. Handoff goes up the middle, some running room across the 40 to the 45, pickup of 9 on the play. Second down and 1 for the Dinos. Packard, the ball carrier.
Up to 42 rushing yards this game, Sonny. He has been a pretty big factor when he has had the ball in his hands. 7 rushing attempts on the day. He leads the team in that category, done right behind him with 6.
Second down, we'll call it 1. Shotgun formation. Quick pitch goes to the right side. Might have got the first down. Depends on where they mark it. Pickup of about maybe a half a yard. Is going to be short still. Third down for the Dinos.
Making the run on that one, Sonny, for the Dinos was Dawson Johnson, the freshman running back, wearing number 25. It's always nice to see these underclassmen get in because the Dinos have so many who are so efficient at what they do. That time just inches short of coming across that first down marker.
He's back to receive kicks for the Dinos as well. So, you get those freshmen in there making contribution to the team is something you always like to see. Third down and a yard, under center this time. Handoff up the middle. First down and more across the 50 to the Canyon View 48-yard line. Move the chains and a first down for the Dinos.
And again,
moving
that ball down the field for the Dinos, Sonny. Brody Collins, the tight end, taking the snap and pushing forward for a first down. The Dinos have the ball marching downfield, but that clock continues to run. 4.5 minutes now and counting.
Plays tight end, but they'll put him in there at the fullback now and then. Successful play for the Dinos to move the chains in Falcon territory. First down and 10. Shotgun formation, 4:25 and running left to play. Handoff comes this time to the left side. It's Packard. Gets across the 50 to the 45-yard line and a pickup of about 4 on the play. Second, we'll call it 6 for the Dinos.
Good pickup of 4 on that play, like you said, by Packard. And, thinking about the tight end position and the fullback position, tight end's just kind of the natural evolution of the fullback. Instead of the backfield, they've moved him to the line. It can serve as an extra blocker there as well.
They give him 3 on the play, second and 7. Shotgun formation once again for Dunn. Ball sits on the left hash mark. They go right to left. Handoff goes up the middle, across the line of scrimmage, and a pickup of maybe a yard on the play.
And Johnson trying to get the leap on that one. Able to pick up a yard, so, you want to see a little bit of a bigger gain, but as long as you're not going backwards, that's what really matters.
Third down 6 for the Dinos, down to 3:31. Stay with us. Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show coming up next. We said next week we'll be on the road at Richfield. Under center. Done with the quick pitch to Packard over the right side. Finds running room, first down and more. Across the 40 down to the 35-yard line. Packard's found some running room around the ends tonight. That one there is successful enough to move the chains and a first down for the Dinos.
That he has, Sonny, and he continues to rack up the yards, up to 56 rushing yards so far in the game. And another Dino first down keeps them moving right along, but clock, again, constantly falling down in the mercy rule. 2:45 left to go.
I want to thank all the sponsors that you've seen throughout the night and heard. Help bring you Carbon Dino football. It's 42-6 with 2:35 and running left to play. Dinos with the ball on the Canyon View 35-yard line. Handoff goes up the middle. No gain on the play. Second down and 10.
A few sponsors for all of you Falcon fans out there listening over on KSUB. You got JRI Insurance, State Bank of Southern Utah. We Win Injury Law. Carter Creek Concrete to Go. Double Tap Ammo. Rally Stop. Fizz on 56. Brad's Food Hut, Midtown Tire and Auto, and JRI Insurance.
Thank all those listeners down in Cedar City tonight joining us. Been a pleasure to bring you to the ball game. There's a nice pass down the left side for the Dinos. Enough for a first down and move the chains.
Crespin able to come up with that, moves the ball forward enough to get the first down. Estimate about 9 yards on that catch, his first of the game, but Dunn has found something too in that short game.
Minute 42 left to play. Shotgun. Dunn looks right, still looking right. Throws right down to Wilson. Intercepted. I believe it is, waiting for
Yeah, that ball was ripped from the
intercepted on the 1 yard line, yep.
Right in the corner of the end zone. Ben Vest coming up with his second interception of the day. He has put on a show, son. He has an older brother playing the offensive line down at Snow College, so football runs in the family.
Yeah, we've said Ben's name quite a few times tonight. Making another play there for Canyon View. The referees are talking it over, so I'm not sure what they're saying here. The ball's marked right now on the 1 yard line. They say it's intercepted, Canyon View football, and they will mark it on the 1. Turnover for the Carbon Dinos, turnover number 2.
And, it's hard to find Maddox Wilson because you want to. He's a very easy target to try and find. Stands out on the field, and he can make big plays. But now that teams really know about him, he's also been facing double-team pressure.
Yeah. First down. 10 for Canyon View. The ball sitting on their own 1 yard line.
Another potential 99-yard drive to the end zone. They converted on that once already today.
They have. Shotgun formation. New quarterback in the ball game for Canyon View. Handoff goes up the middle. Here's some running room across the 5, close to the 10-yard line. Pickup of 9 on the play, maybe 8.
And Haymore, the running back on that one, able to get the good gain for the Falcons. He's come in, and that's been the case for all of Canyon View's backs, as they come into the game and they're able to have an immediate impact. And you got to love when you have that kind of running back system and a running back room you can trust as much as Canyon View has been able to today.
Second down, 2. They give him 8 on the play. Shotgun formation. Handoff goes up the middle. Some more running room across the 20, enough for a first down to move the chains. Ball carrier is Chase Jacobson. Enough for the first down.
Chase Jacobson with the carry, and they're just continuing to march the ball downfield, Sonny. It's a good drive, and they were able to get out of the danger zone, but 10 seconds now, this game all but over.
Down to 6. 5. Don't need to run a play, I don't believe. And they won't. Well, they won't. That's how the game ends. The final score here tonight at Carbon High School, Canyon View 42 and the Carbon Dinos 6. We will take a break. When we come back, it will be the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union post-game show. You've been listening to Carbon Dino football on 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. KSUB in Cedar City, 107.3 FM and 590 AM. Take a break. When we come back, we'll have the post-game show. Don't go anywhere. Dinos fall short tonight, 42-6.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
Plumbing issues don't happen every day, but when they do, it's good to know that there's a plumber you can trust right here in the Castle Country. The Swell Plumber has over 30 years of experience and has proven that he's reliable. Here's what some customers have said about the Swell Plumber.
Kurt was amazing. He came out to the house the same day and got quotes to us very quickly.
Kurt kept in touch with us with updates as things progressed. I was definitely pleased.
For residential and commercial plumbing, go to theswellplumber.com and book your appointment today.
Picture this. A sudden burst pipe, flames engulfing your kitchen. Disaster strikes when you least expect it. But fear not, because Restore Wizard of Price is here to save the day. Their team of restoration experts is ready to tackle any fire or flood emergency from start to finish. They're not just here to fix the damage, they're here to restore your peace of mind. Don't let disaster catch you off guard. Call Restore Wizard of Price, 637-9165. Restore Wizard, the magic of a fresh start. The time is now to join the JN Auto Experience. Browse quality used cars, trucks, and SUVs at our Price or Huntington lots. JN Auto can even help you get financing. Get fast, expert mechanic service to keep your vehicle running smoothly. Treat your car to a spotless wash or make it shine with professional detailing. Even rent a car. All in one convenient stop. JN Auto. Driven forward.
Having a great local pharmacy that you can rely on is important. At Price Family Pharmacy, transferring your prescriptions is simple and hassle-free. Just call us at 637-3737 and we'll take care of the rest. Need your medication delivered right to your door? We offer free delivery to make your life even easier. Managing multiple medications? Ask about our convenient med packing services to keep you organized and on track. Visit Price Family Pharmacy and experience a team that genuinely cares. Feel better about your pharmacy. Choose Price Family Pharmacy today.
At Castle Country Vet, they believe every pet deserves a touch of love and expert care. You can trust Dr. Harmer and Dr. Kelly. They're not just veterinarians, but passionate pet lovers, dedicated to nurturing your furry friends like family. From routine checkups to emergency interventions, you and your pet will experience compassionate, professional care every step of the way. Let Castle Country Vet help your pets lead the happiest, healthiest lives. Call Castle Country Vet today, 637-5797, because love is a four-legged word.
I'm Will Hinckley, number 66. I'm Cole Hinckley, number 72, and you're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play.
Welcome back. Carbon Dino football here on 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play. The final score tonight, Canyon View 42 and the Carbon Dinos 6. We'll look at some stats for tonight's game. We'll get you some scores from around the state, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show. And Aiden, you know, Canyon View came in. We knew they were a good football team. They're solid everywhere. They can run the ball well. They can pass the ball well. Their defense looks very good as well. This is a good football team that we've seen tonight.
Now, Sonny, and what really stands out is the adaptive nature of head coach Burke Miller. He's had about 4 different squads in the 4 different years that he's coached this Canyon View team, and he's done an excellent job adapting to each of their strengths. Here, it's a very run-heavy team with a hard-nosed style of defense. That's where they have made their name, and that's the style of play calls that he makes. And you look at some of the stats that we'll go over a little more in-depth to later, and you see that running was the story of the game. You have 3 players entering double-digit marks, well over 50 yards each, 2 in the 80-yard range. So Sonny, it was a balanced ground attack, but that's what made all the difference. They kept the clock running. I think the biggest moment that stood out to me in that regard was 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Canyon View takes over at their own 1-yard line, and they drive 99 yards down the field, taking up the entire third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at some team stats. Turnovers tonight, the Dinos had 2 and Canyon View had 1. So both teams took pretty good care of the football, 2-1.
That they did. It was a very close one in that regard. 1 interception you can kind of discount as a hit as throwing, and that always is hard to make that throw. The second one was double team coverage over Maddox Wilson, and as tempting as it is to find Maddox in the corner of the end zone when they're throwing double team pressure like that, it's hard to convert on a pass.
And Canyon View controlled the ball tonight, and it shows on the first downs. 15 first downs for Canyon View, 6 for the Carbon Dinos.
Yeah, and they really just dominated in that category. And I think what really is impressive about those first downs is there were times where they were facing 3rd and 19 situations, and they would find a way to convert and push themselves for a first down. That's what really set them apart in that category. They were able to continue moving the ball down the field very efficiently, just picking up grit and grind through all the way down. And in the end, that's what really paid off for them.
Canyon View, 8 penalties for 55 yards. The Dinos only 2 penalties for 10 yards tonight.
Yeah, and that bulk of those penalties for Canyon View came on that big third quarter drive. You saw most of them happen there. Carbon played a very good game when it came to playing discipline. What impressed me most was no jumping off sides, no unnecessary penalties like that.
Well, and the impressive thing with Canyon View is they had a lot of penalties on that drive. They overcame those penalties. They got first downs, long situations, and they end up scoring a touchdown. That was an impressive drive to overcome those penalties and still move the ball down the field.
Yeah, no, that's what really stood out on that drive, and that's also what helped keep the clock ticking as far down as it did. You take up an entire quarter on a drive, coach is going to be happy. You're going to limit any offensive opportunity the opposing team has. And it's frustrating as a defensive coordinator trying to coach against that grit and grind style.
You got to lead. You shorten the game by the long drive, and you put points on the board. It's ideal for Canyon View. We'll take a look at scoring by quarters. After the first quarter was 14-0 Canyon View. They touched the ball twice. They scored twice. Kind of took control of the game early on in the first quarter. In the second quarter, they outscored Carbon 14-6 to make it 28-6 at the half. We had that beautiful kick return by Nichols for the Dinos to get them on the scoreboard. But the halftime score, 28-6.
And that's 2 weeks in a row, Sonny, where the Dinos' sole points have come courtesy of a Jordan Nichols kick return. He is electric when he gets down there. But unfortunately, as teams get more and more film, they're going to start trying to kick away from him. And we saw that tonight with Canyon View, opting to go for little squib kicks up the middle, where Dexter Packard was awaiting for some pretty decent returns. But overall, they're going to try to avoid him as much as they can on the kickoff.
And third quarter, as you mentioned, 7-0 Canyon View outscoring the Dinos because the one drive where they scored the 7 points took most of the quarter, making it 35-6 after 3.
Yeah, and they just continued to march down the field, take up the entire quarter. And even though it was only a one-score quarter, you could still feel the dominance from Canyon View.
And in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Dinos 7-0 once again to make the final score tonight, 42-6. Canyon View goes to 3-1, 1-0 in region play. Dinos drop to 2-2, 0-1 in region play.
And still at that 500 mark, the Dinos have plenty of time to bounce back next week, where, again, they will be traveling down to Richfield. Richfield tonight finding themselves in a bit of a nail-biter against North San Pete, another familiar region foe for the Dinos. They narrowly defeat them 28-14 a year ago. Richfield, a state finalist, falling to Morgan in the championship game. North San Pete, the second to last place finisher in our region. So a very competitive game between those two, catching a lot of people off guard.
We'll have some scores from around the state here in a minute. In the second half, scoring for we went through the scoring in the first half, so we'll go second half scoring. In the third quarter, Floyd had a 6-yard run with 44 seconds left to play in the third quarter. And the extra point good by Beckstorm to make it 35-6. And then in the fourth quarter, a 9-yard run by Floyd with 7:34 left to play in the game. Beckstorm with the extra point to make it 42-6.
And they just continued to dominate throughout that fourth quarter, putting the mercy rule into effect and escape in Carbon Field with a 42-6 victory. Now, I guess the hardest part of tonight for them now is going to be that long bus ride back to Cedar City.
We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have some scores from around the state here on the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show. Once again, the final score tonight, Canyon View 42 and Carbon 6. You're listening to 95.3 The Peak, where the Dinos play, and also KSUB, Cedar City, FM 107.3 and 590 AM. When we come back, more of the postgame show.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
Hey there, food lovers. It's Bill Hicks from Farlano's Cafe, your new favorite spot for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whether you're craving a hearty omelet, a fresh salad, our golden curly fries, or our mouth-watering pastas, we've got you covered. And we're open 7 days a week. So come on down to Farlano's Cafe, where every meal is a celebration. Remember, it's where the locals eat. Visit us at Farlano's, where great food and great company come together. See you soon.
Carbon High School football on KRPX 95.3 The Peak.
Welcome back to the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show. 42-6, Canyon View comes into Price in an impressive win. Aiden, I don't know how else to say it. This is a good team. I enjoy watching this team. They're solid everywhere, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the season.
That they are, Sonny. They're just a dominant team when it comes to the run game and defensively hard to stop. That's what made all the difference in this game. But they start off Region 1-0. Carbon falls to 0-1 in region play, and it doesn't get any easier from here, Sonny. We'll take a look again at the upcoming schedule for the Dinos. They're taking on Richfield next week at Richfield, starting at 7 p.m. 7 a.m. would be an awful time for a football game. Pregame show starts at 6:30 with the Landon's Diesel Service pregame show. Then they travel to Juab to take on the Wasps. Then they return home for a stint against the North Sanpete Hawks homecoming game. Then they travel down to Delta, and then a trip down to Manti to take on the Templars. That's going to be senior night, Sonny. And then we end the season with a long trip back down to Cedar City to take on the Cedar City Reds, aptly named.
We're going to have Coach Milovich join us here in a second. Let's look at some scores real fast before we take a break and bring Coach in from around the state. Eden, you got some scores from everywhere.
Looking at 3A, Cedar City defeats Logan 56-16 at Logan. South Summit comes away with a 49 victory over Ben Lomond. Morgan and Bountiful still deadlocked in a very tight contest, 21-13 right now. 8-9-23 left to go in the fourth quarter there. The big marquee matchup that we talked about throughout the night, Sonny, was that of Beaver and Duchesne. Duchesne eking out a win over the defending 1A state champions, 24-23, a missed extra point, spelling doom for the Beavers in that one. It's been a busy night of football over on our sister station, KOAL, 107.3 FM and 750 AM. Emory comes away with the 41-6 victory over Judge Memorial. Richfield eking out a win over North Sanpete, 28-14. Enterprise defeats North Sevier, 36-0. Manti coming away with a dominant region win, 52-19 over the Wasps of Juab.
We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Coach Milovich will join us here in the Sutherland's broadcast booth.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
Looking for the perfect mattress? We've got you covered. At Bill's Home Furnishings, we have the largest selection of mattresses in Eastern Utah, including the highly rated Serta Perfect Sleeper. And when it comes to price, we're competitive with anywhere in the state. But we're more than just mattresses. From quality furniture and home accessories to reliable appliances, we've got everything you need to make your house a home. Stop by Bill's Home Furnishings today, where selection, savings, and service meet. Right here in Eastern Utah.
The time is now to join the JN Auto Experience. Browse quality used cars, trucks, and SUVs at our price or Huntington lots. JN Auto can even help you get financing. Get fast, expert mechanic service to keep your vehicle running smoothly. Treat your car to a spotless wash or make it shine with professional detailing. Even rent a car. All in one convenient stop. JN Auto. Driven forward. Picture this. A sudden burst pipe, flames engulfing your kitchen. Disaster strikes when you least expect it. But fear not, because Restore Wizard of Price is here to save the day. Their team of restoration experts is ready to tackle any fire or flood emergency from start to finish. They're not just here to fix the damage, they're here to restore your peace of mind. Don't let disaster catch you off guard. Call Restore Wizard of Price, 637-9165. Restore Wizard, the magic of a fresh start.
Imagine a smooth, hassle-free journey to the front door of your new home with the Driggs Mortgage Team guiding you every step of the way. Hi, this is Greg Driggs. Our seasoned experts understand the ins and outs of home financing and refinancing. Come visit us at our new permanent address, 8 East Main in Price, where we plan to be a staple for years to come. Start your journey today. Call 801-427-3577. The Driggs Mortgage Team, NMLS number 272076, Equal Housing Opportunity. Driggs Mortgage Team is a DBA of Premier Mortgage Resources, LLC, NMLS 1169.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back to the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show tonight. Canyon View comes away with the win over the Carbon Dinos 42-6, and joining us in the Sutherland's broadcast booth, the head coach of the Carbon Dinos, Coach Nick Milovich. And Coach, thanks for coming up, spending some time with us. Appreciate it very much.
Always. Thanks for having me.
Tonight you played a Canyon View team. We were talking about it here during the break. They're solid in every aspect of the game.
They were. Very physical, bunch of beef eaters right in the middle. Had a good end and goodness, a running back that just ran the lights out and awesome. And they're able to capitalize on a couple of things and made wonderful plays, even with our guys in coverage and things like that. And overall, they came to play. So.
Yep. Tonight for you guys, you fall short. Region play starts tonight. Richfield next week. What did you see tonight that you can take into next week? Because it doesn't get any easier.
No.
And we talk about it all the time. Our region is just a tough region, but you play Richfield next week on the road. What do you take from this going into next week?
I was really proud of the small things. I was super proud that we were able to pick up the running game a little bit better than we did against Ogden. Got in the red zone a few extra times than we did last week, and so we just progressively just getting better and building upon that. And hopefully when we do cross that 20, we can put the ball in the end zone and get a few more points on the board.
Yeah, it's important for your team with the type of offense that you have when you do get in the red zone to get points, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it's huge, and like I said, everyone's got to be able to step up, and we can't have just one person that we're looking at, and it's really got to get spread out, and we'll definitely hit it at film tomorrow, and then start with the week again on Monday.
On the penalty situation, you only had 2 penalties tonight for 10 yards, and that's
great.
Something you have to circle because that's a discipline thing that you guys are doing very well. 2 penalties, 10 yards. In a close game, that's going to be important.
Yes, absolutely, and it's just the small things, and we've been able to get really good at that aspect, and now it's time to not put it on the back burner, but continue to build off that with execution, and stops and plays and all of that.
So this game over, let's look at next week. You play Richfield.
Yes.
What do you expect to see from a Richfield team next week? And what do you feel like you guys need to do to be on the road and play a very good Richfield team?
Absolutely. Young, but very fast, very athletic. Eric Thornston has done an awesome job picking him back up where Ryan Shattuck's left off. And so they're going to be super athletic, super quick to the ball. And so we really got to be able to pick up everything from linebackers to secondary. It's all about second level, and that's what we're preaching to our kids. And then defensively, we just got to be able to clamp down a little bit better on that run game.
Now, you had one road game this year, and you guys performed really well on the road.
Yeah.
So you can carry that in with you going on the road to Richfield. Do you prepare any differently next week for Richfield being on the road?
Absolutely. We need to be able to be high tempo and be prepared for quickness and things like that. Conditioning, this is the part of the year where conditioning starts paying off and things like that. And I thought we did a fairly good job just how our kids condition. And generally we're flat coming out of halftime, just that tired bug sets in. I thought they responded fairly well. I mean, burning 4 minutes off the clock coming out of halftime, and unfortunately it didn't go our way, but we've got to keep that tempo mindset, that conditioning mindset, because I just have a feeling they're going to be flying around next Friday.
This team plays hard. You don't have to worry about that. They play hard from beginning to end.
Yes,
they do.
I am super proud of them, and in years past they just throw the hands up and say we're done, but I thought we were chugging along pretty well.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming up and talking.
Thank you.
Always appreciate you.
Yes, and I appreciate you guys. Make sure you say thank you to these guys for everything that they do.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show right here on 95.3 The Peak and on KSUB FM and AM in Cedar City.
Show your school spirit and support local high schools with the new Eastern Utah Community Credit Union debit and credit cards. Featuring designs for Carbon, Emory, and Grand High School, these cards let you carry a piece of your school's pride wherever you go. Plus, to make purchasing easier, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union has added the convenience of tap-to-pay and compatibility with major mobile wallets. Pick up your school spirit card today at any of the Eastern Utah Community Credit Union branches.
At A Perfect Smile, they specialize in transforming your smile with precision and care. From porcelain veneers and dental implants to orthodontics, crowns, and bridges, their expertise covers every aspect of general and cosmetic dentistry. Dr. Jackson and his team are here to address even the most challenging dental concerns, helping you achieve a smile you'll love. Ready for a smile makeover? Call A Perfect Smile today, 637-2100, to schedule an appointment.
Transform your space with Spectrum Paint featuring PPG paint, the ideal choice for any home project. Imagine a kaleidoscope of colors at your fingertips, from soothing pastels to vibrant primaries. Whether revamping a room or adding character to your exteriors, Spectrum Paint makes every brush stroke count. Dive into a spectrum where quality meets creativity and paint your world with us. Visit Spectrum Paint to find the perfect shade for your home today.
At Landon's Diesel, they understand the heartbeat of your diesel truck. Whether it's the rig that powers your livelihood or the everyday vehicle that drives your life, the trained technicians at Landon's Diesel are here to keep you rolling. Plus, with 24-hour towing service, support's just a call away, anytime, day or night. Drive into Landon's Diesel for expert care tailored to you and your truck, because when your diesel needs expertise, Landon's Diesel is always here.
At Oliver Law, we specialize in criminal defense and DUI. Everyone needs to know their rights. Let us guide you through the criminal justice minefield. At Oliver Law, we still believe in innocent until proven guilty.
You're listening to Carbon Dino Football on the Peak, KRPX 95.3 FM.
Welcome back to Carbon Dino Football, Eastern Utah Community Credit Union postgame show. Final score once again tonight, 42-6. Dinos fall short to Canyon View next week. We will be in Richfield, so we'll be on the road. Pregame show 6:30, kickoff 7 o'clock. Once again on 95.3 The Peak and all the places that you can watch. As well as we've been saying throughout the night, Castle Country Radio with Carbon, YouTube, KSL Sports app, and castlecountryradio.com. We want to thank our friends in Cedar City, KSUB 107.3 FM and 590 AM for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to have them with us as well, Aiden. And
yeah, just a good night of football. I like the kind of camaraderie you get in the world of broadcasting between all these different schools. I wouldn't have met half these people otherwise, but just a great night overall. And, like we said, 42-6 final score in favor of the Canyon View Falcons. Carbon falls to 0-1 in region. Canyon View moves to 1-0, starting off undefeated. Carbon at 2-2 on the season. Canyon View moves to 3-1. And like you talked about with Coach, it's a very complete Canyon View team we saw down there tonight. In every aspect of the game, they were able to execute, and that's what separates a good team from a great team. If you're good, you're going to be good in one or two aspects. If you're great, you're going to shine in all of them. And that's what Canyon View came in and did tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, we're going to call it an evening. Once again, 42-6, the final score. Canyon View with the win over the Carbon Dinos. We will see you next week in Richfield. Pre-game show 6:30, kickoff 7 o'clock next Friday night. So be there with us as we follow the Carbon Dinos through the football season.